civilized, but imo epokwa dime.
Yeah, greetings. KJ, you can take over. Let me hand over to KJ since it looks like the stream that I created, I'm not hosting it. All right.
Since I'm not there, they're starting though. I joined them. They're starting. I'm on the screen now, so I'll leave you, my brother. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome to this second segment of this broadcast. I'm just going to continue from where Dr. Damages stopped. And I don't know if Chief Ma is okay. Did you land very well, or you want to add to what you said before? Or do you want us to move on?
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. You can go on, my brother.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, and welcome everyone, single one of you. Everybody's idea is welcome. No superior idea, no superior argument. We are here to rub minds together, and just like the song said at hold on. Just like the song said at the beginning, arise, O compatriots. We're all compatriots of Nigeria, and even though we're in diaspora. Now, we also have more guests. Let me bring them in. Okay, they're already in the platform. Okay, I'm just stepping in on behalf of Dr. Damages today. And since we have a female voice, a female guest today, instead of starting from Femi, I'm coming back to you, but let me go to Madame Luke and hear from Madame Luke. What's your view so far about this topic we have been trying to deal with since the afternoon?
Yes, hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think we're still on the Natasha talk. First of all, greetings, my panelists, viewers, commentators, the Dr. Damages family at large. Good to see you again. So we're still talking about the naughty Natasha incident.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, you see, as a female, it's just like I know most women will not really be interested in this topic because it's like everything that rings home. It's the life we live in Nigeria, and that's what it is. People might try to smoke screen it and say, "Oh, it's all about sitting arrangement and this and that." There's always an excuse for people to do the wrong thing, you know? I went to school in Nigeria, and I'm talking of primary school, secondary school, university, youth service. And I know as far back as the 80s when I graduated, proud to say I graduated in 1988. I may not look it, but yes, I graduated in 1988. So we know what we went through as far back as then, when money was not an issue that you could throw away to to get what you need. But then it was very, very, I think I almost repeated a semester because of sexual harassment in the university. So I can identify with everything. I have relatives who are in Nigeria right now who are females. Before you get paid, you have to sleep with somebody. Now, we are talking that you have already worked for your salary. To go and collect your payments is a problem. So I'm saying Natasha is not telling us anything new. And what is playing out here is another aspect of chauvinism, misogyny. Imagine telling me at my age to go and take permission from my husband to deal with my own issues. Excuse me, in a marriage, there are things you share together. There are things that you should keep to yourselves. It's not everything in a marriage that you should discuss. And I don't think anybody knows the kind of man Natasha married. Whatever she's doing is a political marriage. It is highly political. Because when she came out, first of all, as a single lady, she didn't go nowhere. With her political career, she did not go anywhere. But now she has a trophy husband. Now she can talk. Because now people will say, oh, she's somebody's wife. She's somebody's wife. That is how Nigerian women have to play the field to join politics. So what I'm saying now is that she's not telling us anything new. Akpabio is 100% guilty. I don't even have to rationalize it because that is the way they operate. For you to have only 4 female senators out of all the seats in Nigeria, that tells you what is going on. Not everybody can stand the rigors, the abuse of going to this to deal with a male-dominated, chauvinistic, and predatory landscape in Nigeria. You can't survive it. My mom did it. How she survived, I don't know. Many women who did it, most of them are either dead or are incarcerated mentally, insane. Their minds have been so messed up that they can't even recover. So, in the final analysis, where this is going, I don't know, because this has been going on for. I mean, there's another case that somebody came with the NDDC, like you said, who practically gave this man a good slap for doing the same thing. And is it not interesting that he has not come out to speak? And he's now defending his wife, he's not defending by proxy. The same thing Nigerian women do. They are enablers. They will come out and they would throw their fellow ladies under the bus, all because they want to be relevant in marriage and in society. And of course, when you have the man Oduaga as the Akpabio's friend, they're in all this monetary and whatever. Are you sure he's not the one even pimping the Natasha? Are you sure he's not the one even pimping? Nigerian men do it. She's a beautiful woman. It's a trophy. It's a trophy on his hands. So he probably pimp her to the highest bidder. And you think she doesn't know? That's why she just started crying, because she said, "Leave it. I will handle it." Because when you tell your friend something, tell your husband something about his friend, you know what it can cause. In fact, I would not even do such thing. I would not even tell my husband. I would just go straight to the media and start shouting. I won't even let him know, because I know the kind of husband I'm married. They're birds of the same feather. So why am I bothering? Why am I bothering? So Natasha coming out, I give her kudos. She's a beautiful woman. Even if she decides to sell her goods or whatever, let it be at her own terms. And that's how we operate here in America. If I want to sell myself, it's my choice. And I know what I'm getting there for it. But for you to say, go and take permission from my husband, which husband? Was he there when they were molesting me? So why should I tell him? And she even said it, that the man called her and tell her, what did Akpabio tell you? He asked her how many times, what did Akpabio tell you? You think he doesn't know? And then the wife is coming out to say, with the permission, subtle blackmail, meaning if the husband did not give permission, and if he did give permission, that means he shows the kind of friendship. Then why did he come to her? Can you imagine the nonsense? As a woman, I should bring my fellow problem to another woman because you are the king of the treasury. You are the Queen Luther of the treasury, or what?
Okay, Madam Luke, let me add to bring another side to it. His personal assistant wrote a rejoinder on the social media wherein he called her, wearing transparent dresses to the house. It's not about wearing transparent dresses, to the house and all that. So the question one will want to ask is, for those who still have an impression that Natasha may be overplaying her hand, did she encourage that guy, or did she write that thing for Akpabio's special assistant?
Please, can you repeat what you're saying? What did you say? You're saying something about wearing revealing dresses, and what was that?
Yes, his Akpabio's special assistant wrote a rejoinder saying that Natasha shouldn't think it's about wearing revealing dresses. I'm not quoting him verbatim, but it was.
When did this happen?
The next day after Natasha made.
What has that got to do with what Natasha is saying?
So listen to my question now be, if not because they have a low esteem for her, why will a special assistant write such a thing concerning a senator who had made a case on the floor that she was being mistreated? And the next day you write and said it's not about wearing revealing clothes.
Are you
What has
surprised?
blood got to do with
Are you surprised? Everybody is talking besides Akpabio himself. Is that not interesting?
what?
A special assistant. See, anyway, you are in a country where a drug baron is president. You are in a country where a certificate forger is president. And we're quarreling about special assistant writing about Natasha. And look at where he's going. It's not about wearing skimpy. Have you ever seen Natasha dress? Natasha is very, very modest in her dressing. She even covers her head and everywhere. So what is he talking about? So yes, it is to belittle her and to demarket her. That is what women go through in Nigeria. Even your fellow women will be against you because they are first-class enablers. I mean, looking at Akpabio's wife, you can imagine why he looks outside. And then the Akpabio himself, he doesn't even, if it wasn't money, he would be like a motor park tout. Really. So very unattractive man and very unattractive couple. And then you put them beside Natasha. Well, the difference is clear.
All right.
It's just that unfortunately women will always get the wrong end of the stick. And that is why I left. As soon as I dropped my pen in youth service, I packed my bag and I left. I said, I cannot deal with this nyama nyama. This was in 1980. Then you can imagine rolling back. How many years later? We are still discussing the same thing. We have not even gone forward. We have gone years backwards. Women are still used to do cola for appointments. Even your fellow women will sell you. And that is what Akpabio's wife is doing. That one is a glorified pimp.
Yeah, we're coming to that because we also have online of the Burna Boy story. Maybe we'll take that after this so that we are dealing with the same issue so that we can have many more women come to discuss it.
Okay, what I normally do when I finish my submission, I leave because I cannot sit down there and be staring at the camera for hours. So I will have to go do other things. I will come back.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ma. Yes, Mr. Femi, you heard her submissions and all that went through. What is your own take on this issue? When you're answering, bear in mind that um, people are trying to spin the story around. The man who is the chief whip went to the television station in Nigeria, a television station, and said Natasha was totally out of order because she wasn't supposed to speak. And the rule says that once the Senate president rules you out of order, you have to keep quiet. And she didn't do that. And of course, Madam Luke has said something interesting, and I think that I also agree with that. It's not every time you go out, and your maybe for me as a man, I perceive that my wife's friend is winking an eye to me. I'll come back and say, "Can you imagine?" That it could just not have been me, sir. By the way, so I don't see the reason why blaming her for not coming back to tell her husband. It could be for two reasons. One, I'm just giving you this so when you're answering, you can put all that factor together. It could be she doesn't want to cause a rift between her husband and the Senate president. It could be that she doesn't think that it's something that she cannot handle. And so, what is your own take on this issue?
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon. So, even if you had not highlighted the last part of your submission just now, it was something that was already playing on my mind, and quite a number of people have expressed the same sentiments. First of all, background: I have three sisters, and whether it's for someone like me that has females in their lives and grew up amongst sisters and had quite a sizable number of friends in my college in Nigeria, or even with those of us that are married, um, have cousins, basically females around us, and have our own principles. We all know that. I would like to assume that if that was to happen to someone of significance, even not, I mean, maybe not necessarily of significance to you, but you actually know the person, you're invested in that person one way or the other. I'm pretty sure if a typical person like that comes to you and tells you something along the lines of what we're seeing play out. There's a certain kind of empathy, so it's kind of reaction. In fact, you're going to personalize it first of all before any other thing. Now, in saying this, one thing I that kind of amazes me when it comes to our domain compared with what we experience in the likes of America is that, and you can bear witness on this. One thing I find kind of it still bothers me is even when you have a sizable number of men advocating for women in this situation, doesn't it isn't it a cause for concern for even someone like you when you see fellow women like Natasha actually, saying things that are saying otherwise, as if to make it sound as if she doesn't have something to say, like she's lying. Basically, it's like the people just pass judgment. I find it intriguing when women do that. You know, now that's on one hand. On the other hand, when you now take even the things that happen in the Nigerian society generally, whether in the workplace or even in a very common example is amongst male lecturers and female students, it's an undeniable fact and it's still happening today. It's just that nowadays you have a generation that are doing the Sorosuke thing. People are speaking out now, and despite the fact they're speaking out, you've seen the right from the most celebrated cases in Ife, and I think was the University of Akwa Ibom, among others. You've seen the fight backs, and one of the fight backs included the former minister for, was it Women Affairs, that lady, that dramatic lady. Remember what happened in was it University of Calabar 2 years ago, so that she got involved with? What did she end up doing? Even as a minister, yes, we know she's dramatic and she's supposed to be a lawyer as well. Remember how she seemed to come out in defense of the lecturer without even letting the law, if at all there's any law existing in Nigeria as of today, they didn't let it play out. Now, on top of that, um, it's not as if one would necessarily want to say that in life anybody is perfect per se, but I like to think that it's only plausible that we attack the situation and not start saying, after all, because I see things like, after all, she's accused other people of this and that. Why don't you attack the situation as it stands? Because that's basically what I'm trying to elucidate is that I noticed that one of the things that also doesn't help us as a people is that people now start throwing all kind of spanners in the works as just to divert attention from the main issue. That's the part I see that's being played by even the special assistant to Akpabio, who's also female, I believe, as well. Now, I don't. Sometimes it just tires you when you see certain things going on in our society as it stands, especially in the light of the fact that there's so many other things that we should actually be attending to. But this is also important. We cannot deny it. It's very important. So I took time to actually also go to look at the biography, a deeper look into the history of Akpabio as a human. There is no doubt, just based on his antecedents in terms of just his achievements, that he has done well for himself. Right from, I mean, it was interesting to know that he was actually the senior prefect of his school when he was in one of the federal government colleges. He was also the student union representative or speaker when he was in college, and he's a lawyer and this and that. I mean, all well and good, but when you see the way, right from the way he speaks to the way he carries himself, even if without having the benefit of juju, you tend to want to believe. He's he appears to be just a rash person, human being, someone that's how it comes across. So that's all what I just wanted to add. Otherwise, there's really nothing else to add.
All right, all right. Thanks so much. I'm in the same place with you. Looking at Mr. Senator Akpabio, I don't think he carries anything that looks like a Senate a student leader. Anyway, Mr. Ike, your turn, sir.
The issue of Akpabio and Natasha again.
Oh yes, if you have made a condition, we can move on.
Hi, Nigeria, my brother. Listen, Akpabio is I think that Nigeria is unfortunate that in our country, people who are leaders, people who are ruling us, or people who claim to be leaders of this country, are in reality people who are not supposed to go closer to the seat of authority and power. You know, the antecedent. It doesn't matter what he was in the university or in secondary school and the rest of them. Like my brother Femi was saying, the life of this man, has he reflected all those things you were saying now when he was a student union, student president, this and that? The man Akpabio we are talking about, is there anything in him that shows you that he has any morality in him to be Senate President of Nigeria? It's because of the system we are operating. This is a man that has been accused of so many corruptions. You know, he has embezzled a lot of money. And now he's the Senate President, the third most powerful man in Nigeria. What can I say? That's the system. That's where we find ourselves. People who are not supposed to even be chairman of their town's union, they are the people that are really me and you. You know, it's what it is. It doesn't have any morality. It doesn't have any moral standing to be Senate President or to, but it is what it is. As Nigerians, we have to deal with it. Whether it's a choice we have made or it's not a choice that we have not made, but that's what we got. I think that the Sister Natasha, I just want to save her boldness to be able to speak out. We live in the developed world. All of us here, most of us here, we know what sexual harassment is all about in place of work in the developed world. It's everywhere. People who are looking for job in Nigeria, all the same thing. Young girls are looking for job in the banks and insurance company. This is what they go through. You have to go down with the manager or whosoever, the director. You know, how many people who got a good job in Nigeria that didn't go down? It's only few, unless you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody and knows somebody. You know, this is what women go through. So if you have a sister or you have a daughter, you should be able to stand with this woman, because actually we know what the women go through. You know, I am in a private sector, but my wife is in government, and I know what it means. I know what it means when a woman is in a certain position in government, in the public sector. What goes through, you know? So it's not a new thing that we wouldn't have sympathy for the woman. For the fact that a lot of women in Nigeria don't speak, and for the fact that some Nigerian women enable the men that does these things we are talking about. That's why it's sad that a lot of people keep quiet. A lot of people are silent. They can't say anything because they believe, like what we used to see in America mostly. And nobody's going to believe me. Most of the time, people don't say anything is that nobody's going to believe you. Even though if this lady has any evidence like a video or a voice, anybody can deny anything. And because of the system and the country we have found ourselves, the person that is supposed to, or the people that are supposed to call Akpabio to order or to question or to ask questions, they are all guilty of the same offense or even greater things. And each and every one of them have the secret of each and every one of them. So is it why it's difficult in Nigeria, my brother? Is it why that nothing going to change in Nigeria, your country? Is it why? Because the system revolves around the same people. I know what KJ knows. KJ knows what I know. Femi knows what Jide knows. Jide knows what man of prestige. No, you cannot. Will you want to expose KJ? KJ have your file. Yeah, I have your file. You know, so you have a limit. He can go against KJ. If not, he goes. So he have my file. This is the problem, my brother. We have just to be honest. So sometimes when people are saying, "Hey, why didn't they? Who is gonna do what? Who is gonna do what?" When people are talking about, Babangida, he's the criminal, he's that, he's supposed to die, he's supposed to go to prison. What of the civilians who aided this man? Because he used the best brains Nigeria had. What are the people, the civilians, who helped this man to perpetuate whatever that he has done? We're not talking about those civilians. He used everybody, and he washed off his hand because he stained everybody. So if KJ want to talk about it, you tell him, listen, Mr. KJ, don't forget, I made you what you, and I know how it came about. You shut up your mouth. That's the problem. What of the eminent, educated, professional Nigerians that this man used for throughout the time that they were in government? The enablers of this man, where are they?
Okay.
So I think that your senior president must be able to answer that question for Nigeria. And I hope, and I am praying fervently, that Natasha has an evidence to prove this case in court, right? For the case of the Akpabio's wife, I don't have anything to say about that because it is all what it is. But like I said from the first one, I am standing with Natasha until when proven not true. Then we can continue, we can make our judgment back. But for me, for right now, I'm happy that she was bold enough to speak. Because I think it's not all about sitting arrangement. It's not about that, because if it is about that, Akpabio himself was guilty of the same thing during the time of Saraki also. The video is online for people to see. He rejected, he reacted. He wasn't happy when he was moved also. So what is not about seat. It's about something that we don't know. But I think that this woman used this as an opportunity to, to vomit and to voice out everything that has been going on. Let the whole world know and see.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ike, for your submission. And fortunately for us, we have a woman amongst us who will give us the other side also. Miss Madam Luca Don Haas. I will defer to the woman before I come to you guys. I know you're supposed to come, but let's hear from Ibibire Amos. What's your view? And let me put it this way. Mrs. Akpabio has taken a stand, and that stand is that her husband cannot and will never do this kind of thing because they are family friends with this senator. The women in the Senate, led by King Gibe, have also said they have been in the Senate before she came. They have not been harassed by Akpabio. She doesn't know why she's talking this way. Some other women who are Nigerian women also come to say that they think that Senator Natasha is overcarrying herself. So she didn't, maybe, these things can be said to, she's not respecting the father of the house, which is Akpabio, who is the Senate president. Should we talk about, respect here, or what is the rule of the house when it has to do with bills in the National Assembly of Nigeria? Yes, ma'am, I'm waiting for you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for honoring me. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Thank you for honoring me. Thank you so much. Okay, so like I always say, we have people problem in Nigeria. Not only in Nigeria, I think in general, but I would say Nigeria is one of the lawless countries that I know. And I always say that Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians love oppression. They only object to it when it's done to them directly. And in life, it's not only when things affect you directly. you speak up about it. I say that if the senator, the female Senator Natasha, accused him of something, why are there even the women that are saying they've been there for a while? But sorry to say this, did you see the lady? So do you see how beautiful and how very, very I love the way she dresses. She's very, conservative in her dress, and I see her. But I'll say the other women that are not in support of what she's saying, or not even like picking it up just to even investigate. No one is above investigation. Look into it. Don't just make your judgment of we've been here, nobody harassed us. Nobody cares about that. Why can't you? That is why women that, not only men, women have taken the position of patriarchy too. So they speak for men. Some women, not all, a lot of women are even more disrespectful toward other women than men. They support, I would say, evil. So if people like that, I'll speak on the people like that, the female senators in the Congress, in the House, that are saying they've been there and they've never been harassed, but that and they came up with that. I feel like Nigeria is just lawless. I don't even know what to say. It's just lawlessness. Nobody's speaking it up because it's powerful. You can investigate anybody. Let it not come out that, okay, it didn't happen. But from what we know about Nigeria, I'm not speaking for the senator, for both senators, but from what we know about Nigeria, especially the men, especially the one in the power, we know what they're capable of doing. I would say that maybe there's like 60% chances of the man actually did it, harassed her, without me even looking at, all the evidences involved. But I feel like people just like oppression. That's why you will see a child, a girl that will accuse a man of sexual harassment. And people would ask her, why were you there? Why did you go to his house? They would say, why did you go there? Why were you dressed like that? Is that the problem? Is that the problem? So we're okay. We're comfortable with a lot of things. We accept a lot. People make things look okay, like it's a normal thing to do. So they all put the blame on the woman without even like looking at the man. And I think patriarchy is across board, but in Nigeria is a lawless, very lawless place. And that is why I was saying the other day that we don't have a lot of women in politics. Women don't want to join politics because of things like this. Men are all powerful and they kind of suppress you and all of that. Because I knew I wasn't aware of the situation until I think it was last time on the evening show that they showed a video about she speaking on the floor. And I could tell that there was like a tension between them. I see the tension in her voice, trying to talk to the man. A woman would not just, I'm talking about regular woman now, will not just stand up and be rude and be, accusatory like that. But there was tension. I could sense the tension between them. So I knew the man had done something. And knowing the kind of politicians that we have in Nigeria, we know. And people make it okay, and it's okay. And women that are not supporting women like them, shame on them. Shame on them. And not only women now, men, because when we see oppression, regardless of who it is, whether people in minority group, regardless, we should speak up. Because when one is oppressed and you look the other way, it will come back to you too. It will come back to haunt you. So things shouldn't happen to us directly before we feel it and advocate for other people. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ma. I was just looking for Natasha's picture to show. For those who say, some in the earlier broadcast, some people say, she's not even that fine. Let me tell you, she's very beautiful. Let's give it to her. And if you want to know people who are fine in Nigeria, go to Igbira land. If you go to Igbira land, you know that Nigerians are fine. So that is totally away from the discussion we're having. But let me go on to Mr. Jide, no, Okija and Okija came first. After that, I come to Jide. Sorry, after that, I'll go to Man of Prestige before I come to Jide. Go ahead, sir.
What are you doing, KJ? It's my turn.
Oh, it's your turn. Okay, sorry, it's the other way around. So I'm not looking at it.
I think it's after Man of Prestige I'll talk. I think so, yes.
Okay,
it's
no problem. Everybody will have enough time to speak. So let's hear you, Man of Prestige. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've spoken on this topic very not quite long, but I still have something to say in reference. I think what people don't understand. Okay, the mom, from what I understood, the mom is from Ukraine. I think the dad is a lawyer or I don't know. They meet in overseas. She's a well-educated person. She's a lawyer. I mean, she can't just come out on national TV and make this frivolous statement without having the fact to back up what she said. I mean, like I said, until actually come out, whatever they want to say and bring it out, she has to have a fact. Look at the way she narrated the whole thing on TV. It doesn't seem like a makeup. In a nutshell, I completely believe what she said, but it takes two to tango. So, when the fact come out, we can properly adjudicate it. But the place I have an issue is about Akpabio's wife. Why is she entangled herself into this? This is between Natasha and the husband, not her. Now she's suing Natasha. What she tried to do, she's defending Akpabio manhood. Is that what she's doing on national TV? I mean, it doesn't even make sense what she's doing. Let it be between Akpabio, Akpabio and Natasha. That's the people that this for. I mean, like I said, Nigeria is not a same country. In a same country, there should have been an independent prosecutor by now, to handle this. It doesn't have to be the member of the committee. We know APC dominate the committee, so they can't just say let's nominate some people from the house to come and adjudicate this case. It doesn't work like that. There has to be an independent prosecutor to handle it. But I don't think that's going to happen. Like I said, Nigeria is not a same country, so let's not waste our time. But we are trying to put things in the context. This is what should have happened in a place where there's where scenario actually happen, but it doesn't happen. So so I don't really have that much to say. Like I said, Natasha, she has an evidence. So when it come out, we have to see. But there's something I wanted to talk, KJ. Nobody has said talk about it. What's happening in the north about this Ramadan? You all know about the four. Well, it started with the Baptist state. They said they're going to have 25 days.
Okay, if you don't mind, when we finish that, we'll come to this part of what we're going to discuss later on. So just
okay.
Yes, so hold on. We're going to come to that. The declaration of
okay, you can go to the next person.
Yes. All right. Let's move on. Yes, Mr. Jide, right? Can we hear you?
Yes. Thank you so much, KG. Thank you for having me. Good to see everyone again today. Hi,
Sorry, Jide, how long have you lived in Nigeria?
Oh, I lived in Nigeria for about 20 years. I'm no longer
Did
living in Nigeria.
Did you ever go to Kogi State?
Kogi State, no.
Okay. Well, I'm asking that because someone is arguing with me that some of the finest people in Nigeria are not from Kogi State. I can tell you that if you're not married and you go to Igbira land, you will not come back without marrying. Bet me, if you doubt me, go there and come back and let me know.
I know there are beautiful girls like.
So I don't know why people are. If you don't know something, you ask. I'm telling you that people from that side, they are very. They may be temperamental, but they are very beautiful. If that's what you want me to balance it up with, and they can fight. So if you are thinking that Natasha is going to bow out, you are wasting your time. You don't know those people then.
AJ, you don't spoil after painting them very well. You don't spoil the thing now by saying.
I'm just saying the truth because me, I lived in the north, so I mixed most people. They are very, very fine. They are.
I agree with you. I agree.
They can't take it away. All right, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hi everyone. Hi Bibiri. Hi Tony, and everyone listening and on the comment section. So thank you so much for having me. So yeah. I honestly, first of all, I don't even know where to start from when it comes to Nigerian politics because I've always said the same thing. When it comes to all these things, I think it's distraction. You see, it's distraction. This personality clash between elites, It's part of the distraction. It's to distract the people from our reality, particularly those that live in Nigeria. You know, it's quite unfortunate that we have to be talking and comparing these elites. Which one is better? Is it Peter Obi? Is it Akpabio? Is it... You see, all these people, they are the same. Like, when I mean they are the same, they are different, but at the end of the day, they don't serve the people's interests. You know, they are for the status quo and they are there to oppress the people. They are our oppressors. In Nigeria, I'm always surprised that among Nigerians, among Africans, just like we don't like to admit that our oppressors are also Europeans, we also don't like to look at things from class analysis. We don't understand that the truth is that the rich oppress the poor in Nigeria. And what we have is that, you see, when we talk, I feel like all these people, they don't care. They don't care about the people of Nigeria. They are oppressors. They are dangerous people, including that so-called lady that is beautiful. She's part of the system. We need to, you see, if I'm going to talk about these people, what I'm going to say is we need to kick them out, just like other countries have done that, and they are now successful. We need to kick them out. They are all oppressors. They are criminals. They shouldn't be in a position of power. These are criminals. Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. And we are talking about who is beautiful, who is better, right? I mean, like, seriously, like...
I hope you're not trying to reduce our debate to beauty. It's not beauty that brought us here.
No, it's not you. I understand. No, it's not you. Like,
it is
attraction
the
and
national
everything.
discourse right now in Nigeria.
That's the thing. It shouldn't be a national discourse. That's the point. Even though I don't live in Nigeria, right? I know Nigerians are suffering. Yeah, Nigerians are really suffering. It is the oppressors that are spreading this propaganda to distract the people from the narrative. They use entertainment, they use all these elites, that the personality clash among themselves.
Okay, Jide, what are you saying? Are you saying that Mrs. Natasha should have considered the fact that Nigerians are suffering and not take up her right if she feels...
No, it shouldn't be the point. It shouldn't be the main talking point across Nigeria. That's the point I'm making. It shouldn't be the talking, like, it is their business. It is their business among themselves. These are oppressors. If Nigeria is working, you want to hear, if Nigeria is working for the people, Akpabio, all of them should not be in power. These are oppressors. That's the point I'm making.
Is it Senator Natasha that made Nigeria not to work?
She's part of them.
You can't say that. You see, let us...
She's part of them. They are the same. They are penetrating the system.
Hold on. This young lady, if you followed her, I followed her politics. If you followed her politics, you will find out that she has always been on the side of trying to make Kogi State better. It's because she couldn't get to the winning the governorship or whatever they were manipulating in that place that she went to the national. And you cannot say she's now, because of that, she now lose her rights as a woman. If she feels that her right has been infringed upon, she shouldn't, because Nigeria is suffering. By the way, the same person who, of course, I'm just giving you a broader understanding of who she is. The same person I've been trying to get the Kogi Steel mill running, which she didn't get cooperation for. Have you seen her project? I was trying to look for the project she has done in Kogi State and put it on this. I'm not able to get it right now. So she's not just like one of those other senators. And I'm not saying this because I have any particular like for her. But somebody, if the person have done well, say the person has done well. I don't particularly like her temperament.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I completely understand. And I don't disagree with what you're saying. So that is what it works. There are good people in that Senate House. There are good people. But you need to understand that we have a system that is oppressive. You need to look at the big picture. The system is very oppressive. So even if you're a very good person and you enter that swamp, it's like a swamp. Once you enter that swamp, you become an oppressor. That's what I'm saying. And you see, the way Nigeria is going right now, we need to stop being detached from our reality in Nigeria. The people of Nigeria need to keep being detached from their reality, because all these things is to detach themselves from the cost of their reality.
Okay,
that's the truth. But can I think about Ukraine? I was going to talk about Ukraine. I have a lot to say about what happened yesterday.
Okay, it's like Mrs. Bibire has an answer for you, or a question for you. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interject. I just want to say something about what you just said. You can work and talk at the same time. That don't take from what is happening. But we cannot say because everything that is going on, we're going to minimize accusation. If that happened to her, it needs to be addressed. That is people's house. Those people are there not to represent themselves. That is the problem that we have. That's part of the problem that we have. You can walk and talk at the same time.
Okay.
When Clinton, Hillary, Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky had their issue here, people were talking about it. The whole world was talking about it. So we can say, well, because we have a lot of problems, we should just disregard or discard everything that she said, that accused him of. He's a powerful man, and we have like millions of people like him around sexually harassing people. So we can't say because we have problems and things are going on in our country, we should disregard that. I don't think that is right to say. That is a story, and that story needs to be heard.
You see, I'm not a feminist. I'm not into all this bashing or saying
I
justice
understand
for one woman.
your
I'm not a
point
feminist. I understand that from a feminist liberal perspective, and that's okay.
The story that she's
People
a
might
senator, she's
disagree
a
with your
congresswoman.
view on a feminist perspective. I disagree with you on a lot of things. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying there shouldn't be justice for anybody. Didn't you listen to what I'm saying? The fact that it's even a major talking point, it's a problem. That's what I'm saying. They can be, if Nigeria has proper institutions, they can address it. They can do whatever to implement justice for the woman. I'm not against justice for the woman. What I'm saying is, Nigeria currently, this should not even be a conversation. If we know where, and if we're using America as a template, that's exactly the problem. If we're using America as a template, that's exactly the problem. And you see, I won't talk about Ukraine because Nigeria, like I said earlier, Nigeria, like I said earlier, it's a country where for anything to happen, it is the people of Nigeria that will fix it.
A sitting senator, and you're saying it's not a problem.
I'm not saying, oh
this
my God.
happens to a lot of people.
So because now it is affecting the elite, now they should now look at it. That's exactly what we are saying. We don't look at class analysis. There's no class consciousness among the Nigerian people.
Well, you said it shouldn't be like a talking point. It shouldn't be on the news. They should sort it out on their own. But you should know that.
No, what I'm saying is the institutions of Nigeria, we have the justice system in Nigeria. They can go and carry out an investigation. They hear what I'm saying. But the point I'm making is this should not actually be there are bigger issues that we need to address.
All right,
let's talk about Ukraine. I don't know this. I mean, I would like to talk about Ukraine.
Let's
because
move on.
What happened
we're not
yesterday?
talking about Ukraine. We're not talking about Ukraine. We have already discussed about Ukraine enough today.
So I can't talk about Ukraine.
No, we're not going to talk about Ukraine now. That's what we dealt with at the beginning of this program. We talked about Ukraine. Let's do what's going on.
Can still be discussed about, right? So
no. We'll have enough to discuss. We're not going to Ukraine any longer. Mr. Tony, your turn. Can we hear from you?
But why can't we talk about Ukraine?
Jide, we have selected the topic we want to talk about. We're not going to talk about Ukraine, right?
But it's on the headline.
It's okay. Leave that. We can do that in part 3. There's a part 3 coming up, so we can go through that again.
Greetings, everybody. Sorry, I joined late. I missed the first part of the discussion. But this whole issue about Natasha and Akpabio is something. There's a sense in which I agree with what Jide is saying, but let's leave it aside. There are two issues here. One is strictly official, and one is private. And the two of them have been mixed together. I think we have to separate them. Deal with the official, and then the private, Akpabio and Natasha can go deal with that. Now, let me deal first with the official one. You see, we have been having a recurring problem with our legislators. Some time ago, it was this Senator Abu, and it was all the question of morality and all this sex thing and all that and all that. At the end of the day, I think the whole thing was swept under the carpet. And then we have a legislator from the House of Rep and had an altercation with a Bolt's driver, and we saw everything that happened. At the end of the day, swept under the carpet. And now we're having, somebody in a very exalted position president of the Senate engaged in an altercation with a co-senator. And I think it's sad. It's something that shouldn't have happened. First of all, the question that I ask is, does the Senate president have the authority or power to allocate seat? And if you go to the proceedings of the Senate, the orders or whatever, and you go to Order 6, I understand Section 1. The answer to that question is yes. The Senate president is allowed, is authorized to allocate seats or change seats as he deems fit. And the second question that I'll ask is there a provision in that order that allows a senator to refuse a seat, any seat that is allocated to him or to her? And from my understanding, there's no. So, and then I ask the question, what would the senator have missed if she had, when it was brought to her attention, assuming she didn't know, that there's been a reallocation of seat and her place is somewhere, whether it is the place where she doesn't like or where her hands would not be raised? That's reading her intention, into whatever official decision has been taken. What would he have lost if she had gone to the seat and then from there, raise her hand or plead the other 10 that she wanted and then make her case? Because this rowdiness would not have happened if that was done. And then that is where she can now make a case and say yes. And then she can maybe say whatever, that I raised my hand, you didn't recognize me or whatever.
Can I add something that you may have missed?
Yeah.
She says something about SOS, that she has a right as a senator that feels if their rights have been infringed in any way to raise an SOS. This in
That's
I think it's a measure that they have.
That's what I'm saying.
And if she did that, then why did he encounter it?
Now let me answer the question. You see, there's order in the Senate. It's a hallowed chambers. You can't build something on nothing. First of all, the first thing is that before you even speak, you have to sit. So if you are not allowed,
actually, that the order didn't say that.
No. The order 6, Section 1, specifically states that the Senate president has the authority.
That is not the question. It's about the emergency one. The whole point of something being an emergency means that you need to respond to it now.
The second thing is that you cannot speak from a seat that's not allocated to you. So even there's the emergency.
That is what hold on. That order didn't state it. And what you are doing here is being disingenuous now.
No, hold on, please.
Anywhere. They said anywhere senator is at.
Fathers, let me make my case, because you see what the senator did was not just insulting Akpabio. I know where I'm going. She was insulting the authority of the Senate, which is wrong.
But you are not. You see what you are doing there.
Okay.
No, hold on. Let me finish.
Let him speak. Let him speak. Stop interjecting.
I wonder.
So let him speak. I'm just questioning. People have to be honest.
She could still have made her point from the new seat that she was allocated. Nothing would have stopped her. She would still have made her point. She would still have pleaded that order. So we must not put the cart before the horse. If someone is wrong, we must say she's wrong. And then even when she was being appealed to, she completely disregarded her colleagues who were talking to her. And then she was rowdy. She was disruptive. That is wrong. Now, proceeding from there, I think also maybe the Senate president was provoked to use some foul language that she did, and so on and so forth. But I think that this is a Senate that is being observed and watched all over the world. and they should know, the people there should know that there should be some decorum in that discussion. I started first by talking about our legislators and how unfairly and how bad they have conducted themselves in the eyes of the public. Now, this thing would not have happened. Now, to deal with the other issue, all the other things about I have raised my hand so many times, won't recognize, or I know where he was going. Yeah, you are reading something into the man's intention. I have raised bills, and all those things are accessories after the fact. Those are issues that can be dealt with. And she was just doing that to get sympathy. Now, coming to the issue of all the things, I watched her on the floor. I watched her at Berekete television, Berekete radio. I watched her on Arise television. And I'm wondering, when I listened to some of the things she said, if I was married to her, and I'm hearing now that Akpabio had said, come to my house so I can sleep with you or make sex, and I've asked you and you deny, I will sack her immediately as my wife.
Thank you, bro.
I will immediately sack her. Now, what evidence does she have? Because she's boxed herself into a situation. She's gone to court. Now, where's the evidence? If she told her husband, said, listen, there was a woman who accused Akpabio. No, one more minute. There was a woman who accused Akpabio of making passes at Niger Delta Commission or something. When Akpabio did that, she slapped Akpabio. I would expect, as a wife, your husband is behind you, and the man is holding your hand, and then he whispers that kind of nonsense, and you couldn't slap him.
Okay, let's calm down, Tony. Let's put things in perspective. When we put these things in this order, it looks as if what we are saying is correct. Let me tell you, in Africa, you know that we have respect for certain people and orderly. So that's what I think, that she was just according respect to a family friend. They're not, remember, they're not, hold on, so I'm coming and I'll give you opportunity to talk. They're not strangers. They are not strangers. The story she told was that he was showing them around his house. And, come, let me show you. You can grab the person and, begin to go. That's one. Two, what you are saying may not necessarily be the way it is. Remember that Akpabio also, this life is so funny. During the time of Asaraki, the same issue came up. Okay, but he made his point.
Okay, I'm hearing you. Hello? There. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Okay, KJ, what I'm saying, I'm trying to balance this thing, because there are things that don't seem right. I'm saying that, they were working together. Showed her the first one somewhere, and then they went to the next place, and he showed her, and he said to her, Tony,
the question I wanted to ask you was this before my internet messed up. So if your wife comes back and every day she's telling you people who went at her or make passes at her, are you sure you are going to continue to be in that have a peaceful marriage? Because every day women go out, or all kinds of things happen to them. Some they ignore. Those ones that, like the woman who slapped him, that's because he went beyond and above what he should have done. He actually touched her, according to what she said. Okay. So it's a different thing. So are you saying that every time that your wife goes out and people laugh on, funnily with her, she has to come back and say, darling, today I went out, Musa at the gate was laughing at me somehow?
KJ, remember that.
Stop. You are making this issue small by saying that this is an issue with the Senate president.
KJ, listen. The man is behind.
Not an issue with an Akara man. With what about the Akara man said to you? It's an issue. The third strongest man.
Okay, we'll come to you. We'll come to you.
KJ, the Senate president and Senator Natasha are in front. The man is following behind. They are walking hand in hand. And then he whispers something to the wife. And then the husband asks, what is it that this man said to you? And she refused to tell the man what was said. And now the thing is causing a problem. Now, what I'm saying is that the man did not show respect at all. If it is true, if what Akpoti said is true, it didn't show respect to the woman, to the man, and to the marriage. And that's why I say on account of that. And that's not the first time it's happening. Because we hear he has told him, you can be enjoying these privileges, if you just acquiesce to XYZ.
Tony, my final question to you before I move on. Do you think Natasha, who is a practicing lawyer, will say I have evidence if she didn't have it?
No, I'm not commenting on the appropriateness of what she said, what the veracity. I'm not questioning the veracity of what she said. I'm saying that assuming that is true, that it happened, I would expect Natasha to slap him or to rebuke him in the presence of her husband. Now, that will not be an issue because now when she's saying, the husband will say, yes, she told me. I was there and I asked her. But now the husband asks you, I saw something very fishy. What happened? He said, no, nothing. And now you are saying that, it doesn't add up.
Okay, see, listen, I'm just playing with all the two sides here. And I'm looking at it from somebody who as a man and as a woman, people must have made passes at you. Okay? And then is it every time? Let me give you an example of myself. I have a family friend who comes to the house, and whenever she goes, my wife said, "Did you see the way she was looking?" And I have never, in all honesty, seen whatever the woman is, whatever she's seen. Okay, and you're saying, "Look, I don't like this lady coming to her because she's always not, look at she came with a spaghetti hand, and me, I know they visit the spaghetti hand dress in the first place." Okay, so what I'm trying to say in essence is that the man may just be someone like me who doesn't see things the way she's looking at it. That's why she said to him,
he's not someone like you.
Hold on.
He's not someone like you. You are different. Somebody who is looking at somebody's address and saying this thing is Europe and cake. It's not like you.
Listen, the husband said to his wife, you can tell me anything. That is a very heavy statement. That means he knows what he said, but you know that she is trying to protect his relationship with the Senate president. That's
more than marriage.
Eh?
More than her marriage.
Because the man, both of them have understanding that the husband knows what is going on. Anyway,
listen, let me ask you one question. Let me ask you one other question. Two questions. Assuming I'm trying to make by way of making my point. Assuming the woman slapped the Senate president, this issue we're discussing today will not happen. It will be in the news, and then the whole thing, the bubble will burst. He will not do this thing that he's doing to the woman. That's one. Two, supposing the man comes out tomorrow to say, well, I am sorry, I slept with this woman on one occasion.
Okay, well, maybe Desta will have a better answer for you. Desta.
Sorry, KJ, I wanted to just say something real quick. It's not going to be up to a minute, I promise. I was going to respond, before I go, I was going to respond to something I've noticed on this live, and I have to express it real quick. So when I express my opinion, BB said I was backing. You see, we need to respect ourselves on this live. I know that sometimes when we talk about some of these things, we get emotional. Sometimes I agree and I disagree with different people. It's normal. We are here to learn. We are here to understand different perspectives. You don't just come and start insulting people and say they are backing. All right. I understand your views and stuff. So please, don't bring your feminist garbage. Don't bring your feminist garbage and come and be insulting people.
Can I say you're backing? Excuse me.
I apologize on.
No, excuse me. Did you say BB said you're backing?
I don't think she said that. I didn't hear that. But
Jide, sorry, Jide, no vex, I beg.
You said that?
I didn't hear that from you. I didn't hear that. There's
I don't speak like that. I'm sorry. Did you just see that?
I didn't hear that. Anyway.
Wow.
Desta. Yes, you had the question that Tony asked. Can you go ahead, sir?
Thank you, Kate. Since my screen is freezing, so I'm still here. Thank you, KJ, and thank you everybody on this panel. I don't really know. I think funny enough, I watched the interview with Natasha live. So, and I think there are two wrongs here. And I think we should disabuse ourselves. I think there's a tendency to want to drive one narrative and then we just run with that narrative and we don't want to look at the other side of it. You know, it's not like Natasha is completely on the right, and it's not like Mr. Akpabio is completely on the right for me. One, I think Mr. Akpabio, his character does not show that office of Senate President is deserving of it. Because the same way Saraki handled his case, Saraki had the patience to listen to what he had to say and then answer him and overrule him. So Akpabio, there was no need. This whole drama is because Akpabio did not have the presence of mind to allow Natasha to speak. Allow Natasha to speak, if whatever she wanted to speak, and after she finished speaking, tell her you are overruled. Go to your seat. That is what would have. That is what any right-thinking person. So that's now because Mr. Akpabio treated that case that way. It gives credence. It gives validity to Natasha's accusations. You know, because if there was nothing boiling under, you would have had the presence of mind to say, when she finished ranting, you say, okay, Madam Senator, you are overruled, go to your seat. And this whole thing would not be an issue. That is on that part. On the other part of Natasha, then she's in her right to say what she wants to say, to spill, like when of course, she felt bad that they were changing her seat, fine. But the truth is that the Senate, they say they have rules, and the rule is that you can only speak from your seat. I know she was saying in an interview, if she's anywhere, if she's lying down on the floor, as long as she say under 10, you know, I think that is on discretion, that you might be heard out, but it doesn't mean that what you are saying will be taken. So people should listen to you. So the Senate president should have listened to her, and I think all these things would not have been an issue. So Mr. Akpabio is on the wrong in that regard. Now, on the accusations, whether Natasha did not tell her husband, or whether, I think that is not our business. That we should stop going into, because she did not tell her husband, she did not slap her husband. Everybody's temperament is different. You know, if somebody doesn't take something the way you take it, it doesn't mean that see, some of us here, we are judging Trump the way he's taking things. Why? Why are we judging him? Because it doesn't suit our own moral. So why are we judging him? If now you want to judge Natasha, why? So I think we should see if Natasha felt like, okay, this man and my husband are very close friends. They were friends before I even got married to my husband. My husband takes this man as like a father, and I don't want to destroy their relationship. I don't want to cause rancor between them. So, Mr. Akpabio, I will let what you have said slide. That is her own discretion, and we shouldn't judge her for that. She can choose to do that, and it's her own discretion. And we should appreciate that that's what she has chosen to do. For you, you might not accept that, but that is what she has chosen. So we shouldn't come and say, because of that. Now, the second part of this is also this. I don't also support. I agree that Mr. Akpabio has character flaws, and I'm not on his side. But I also don't support the ideology of throwing somebody down just by mere allegations, because that has ruined the lives of many men with women lying. Example, the Me Too movement that came out. You had the story of Johnny Depp and Amber. What is her name? I don't even remember. Do you remember the lady's name? But Johnny Depp story.
Amber Rod.
Yes, where his wife was abusing him, but yet through the Me Too movement, she spun the story that he was the one abusing her. And when he sued the Sun newspaper in UK for libel, she won the case because the judge refused to listen to anything until they took that case to America, and it was publicly aired. And the judge there was even a woman, and she said, all you have to come with your hard evidence. Only show there's no third person conversation. Bring first person conversation and hard evidences. And all the evidences that were provided showed that it was the wife that was abusing the man. So you see this ideology of, don't forget, look, I'm not saying that Natasha was not sexually harassed. I'm not saying so. But let us not be quick to judge. But the statements of Mr. Akpabio from what he has done and from the statement of his aide, that gives more credence to what Natasha is saying. How can an aide say she's dressing in, she's very transparent? No, now you can't sexualize her. That is wrong. That is wrong. So that shows that there is, look, another thing is that, you see, I think something about Nigeria, we see Nigerians, when things favor us, like they say, in Nigeria, everybody that is complaining is waiting for their turn. The moment their turn, all of them, they don't care again, and it is the truth, many of us here too that we condemn is because it's not our turn. The moment it's our turn, we don't care. That is one of the problems we have in Nigeria. Because let me tell you the truth. In Nigeria, the system is what is created. It's a system. Okay, let me give you an example. Go to churches. A small boy, Papa, lying down for him. Is that not part of the problem? The Senate president, he's the father of the nation. He's the father of the Senate. He's the Senate president. Even the president, the federal president, who made the president father of the nation? We have this worship system. Dobale for the person. No.
All right.
We don't disabuse ourselves.
Thank you so much. On this topic, let me give forefather the last say on it, so that we can move on.
Yeah, thank you, KJ. Greetings everyone on the
platform. Please, KJ.
Panel.
Please, KJ. I would like to say something. Please, I beg, please.
Okay,
forefathers.
Sorry,
forefathers. Yes, okay. Go ahead.
Forefather.
Yes.
Please. Yeah, please go ahead.
Forefathers, please. I'm sorry. Thank you. Please, KJ, I do not like the accusation from Jide. I do not appreciate it. I do not like to be spoken to in a rude way, and I don't do so to other people. I would like for him to go back and watch the video if this is being recorded. And if there is nothing I said of such, I would appreciate an apology on that. I do not disrespect people because I do not want to be disrespected. I do not use those words.
Okay.
Please.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear any word like that. I don't know how I heard it. I don't know if another person heard that word. I never heard it. Anyway, forefather, did you hear anything like somebody? I didn't hear.
I didn't hear anything. I think he may have misheard her in some way. It's possible. So I didn't hear anything, especially if Bibire is actually going on to say that she never said anything like that. So it may be what Jide listening to her own side of this statement, because I don't think she normally comes across as somebody that would just say something like that. So okay.
Right. So I'm sorry again, madam, for that. And I'm sure that Jide will somehow watch and find out that we didn't say that. Go ahead, forefather.
Thank you. This idea where people keep talking about the way the lady looks, I think it's a little bit unseemly, because this is one part of our culture where we see a woman that is fair-skinned and we keep praising her for her looks constantly. It's just sickening. Because we forget that there are a lot of women that don't look like her in Nigeria. And maybe that's not what they mean. They just mean that she looks good, but it's just a little bit annoying when you hear, whenever Nigerian men see a woman that is fair-skinned, they just like, lose your mind. But that said, I think, it's a bit nonsense.
I don't know why I said that. Is it because of what?
No, Nigerians are rubbish at doing this, and it's an inferiority complex thing.
Somebody earlier have said, I'm not talking about what about the Idomas, the Angas, the Nupe? I don't know. Every Nigerian person, woman or man, is beautiful. And I can talk more about the Middle Belt people because I live there and I know those people are, just fine people, both in the heart and in physical. They don't necessarily to be fair, not because Natasha is fair.
What of insecurity?
She's mixed race. That's why they just keep going on, and they forget that this woman is half foreign. I think she's half East European, and all the rest. So, and they
No.
shouldn't be doing
I'm
that
not even
because
talking about that based on that. Like Mr. Tony have said, the Shekiri people are also very beautiful people. I mean, I have friends
yes,
who are
yeah,
white, so
you can say that. Like Kingibe now, the lady is beautiful herself. Nobody is praising her for her looks. This thing that we do is a little bit duplicitous. They will say, "Oh, we don't mean it."
poor
It's
father
because she's
leave a
principled.
beauty. Answer
That's what
your
they're going
question.
on and
Say
on.
what you want to say.
Okay, let's get that's what they're going on and on. All these are men. They need to stop it. Enough of it. That nonsense that they do. That said, regarding the issue at hand, see, from observing her politics, she appears to be an upstanding citizen of Nigeria. She's one of those you have to literally look at some of the things she has done in her time when she got involved in politics, and she's met a lot of these kind of sexist, which I don't subscribe to these woke Me Too stuff. But fact is fact, and if somebody is being maligned, they have a right to a fair hearing. And the way she has been maligned because of, she has this stuff and all kinds of insinuations out there. When she's been doing it in terms of the public service, I've not had one thing that she has done wrong in terms of for public service. She's gone out of her way to try to help. Even in that interview, she went on to say something about some money that they said that senators go on to share when they don't have anything to spend it on. That they go on to share the money. Why should you share the money? It's not your money to share. you should use it to do the work for the people, because that is for me, it's a real conflict of interest. If I know that when you give me money, that if I don't spend it, I get to share it for myself and amongst us, what are the odds I'm going to want to spend it? That is a problem. And she highlighted that issue, and she literally provided evidence. See, when people keep talking about evidence, she literally provided evidence saying that that money that she protected after she left, all been spent now. Basically, only 100,000 remaining. It's been spent. For what? We don't know. This is one of those things Nigerians complain about all the time. Secondly, the Ajakuta steel that she tries to bring up, she was denied 5 times. Why would you even deny that kind of stuff once? If you actually care about the nation, what is more important than Ajakuta steel plant if that thing comes online, so that Nigerians can start becoming industrialized and selling steel to other African countries and becoming rich? But that is too much for Akpabio to allow. And also, there is a lady that accused Akpabio in NDDC of wanting her to swear allegiance to him because she refused to approve contracts for his state and all the rest of it. This is not new. Akpabio seems to have a history of encountering women that, he tries to do stuff with women and they don't like it. And why would you swear? And when she asked him to swear that allegiance, people were there, according to her. And this is the problem with Nigeria, because when you emerge, they start trying to reduce you. Look at the Kingibe lady that came on on TV. What I found wrong with the way she came across was, first, her statement was she was representing 2 women, but there were 4 women altogether, including herself. Why not 3 women she's representing? She's only representing 2 women. Then she always tried to restrict the issue to the issue of sitting arrangement, without taking in the overall issue into account. And then went on to even say that Akpoti gets a privileged treatment. Where is the privileged treatment? I don't see any privileged treatment. So
she was made a chair.
Were you there? Have you been in the Senate? Have you been in the Senate? Have you gone?
She was made a chairperson, even as a newcomer. She's not allowed.
Excuse me, guys. What forefather is driving at is the fact that there were 4 of you there. You say you are representing 3 women. Why didn't you say?
She said she was representing 2.
That is why I heard that statement. I felt like, why are you representing 2 women? Why you are 4? Okay.
But
hold on. The other 3 people should also be part of this thing, parole. Then why are you saying she's my daughter? She's young enough.
She said she's representing the other 2. So she's representing the other 2. So 4 of them. Hold on, 4 of them. Okay, she herself representing the other 2. So 3 of them. Natasha hasn't spoken with any of them.
Yeah, but
Natasha
you
has
can
never
represent
spoken with
Natasha
any
even
of
without
with
Natasha
the three of
speaking
them.
to
Okay,
her.
why should she speak to any of them based on the fact that she has been sexually harassed? So that they will do what?
She said that Natasha told her about the one for hotel. Bababio told her to meet her at at a hotel, and she told Natasha that that she should not go, that anything should be in the Senate. So she said, maybe you guys maybe go back and listen to that interview again, because forefather is just
Yeah,
muddling
okay,
the issue now,
please
talking about something else.
don't interrupt me. You were the one that was saying I should not
Okay,
interrupt anybody.
Father, please go ahead and finish.
So what he just said is evidence of Natasha talking to that lady. And in other words, it's a form of evidence actually that Akpabio wanted her to meet him in a location that is not advised, even by that same woman that is now calling her privileged. Then go on to call her my child. And she considered herself senior to Akpoti because she was there 6 months before. If somebody is fighting in court, you are elected at the same time because you were 6 months before. So somehow you should be rewarded because some other person held her in court. You see the kind of way we behave sometimes in Nigeria. It's one thing to have hierarchical behavior, but it's another thing to besmirch or try to belittle somebody that is actually representing the constituency, that people of various ages are present. She's not an individual anymore that you can call a child. Like all of them, they are not just people anymore. They represent constituencies.
Go ahead. I just want to say, as while you're thinking about that, think of the fact also there's another sexual issue raging in Nigeria, and which has brought all the young people and all the keyboard warriors to play. Go ahead, I'll try and get that
Yes,
play for you.
regarding the motion that she raised so that she can be heard, the practice is if somebody raises a motion like that, you are meant to hear them out. That is normally the practice. Then the Senate head still has the power to disregard the Senate head still has the power to disregard whatever motion she raises. But obligation says that he needed to hear her out, and that is something that wasn't accorded her. She was basically shoehorned out of the chamber. And if they had just given her a hearing, maybe all this stuff wouldn't blow up the way it did. Because she was confused. She narrated what happened the day before, which the head of the Senate is aware of, because he was the one that triggered that event. He was the one that called her at night. He triggered her feelings that day. If somebody calls you at night and starts saying that your actions may cause him to be killed, to be hated, the most hated man in the country.
Music star Burna Boy has found himself.
What is going on with Burna Boy?
Okay, Forefather, conclude your statement.
Yes, so for me to conclude, I think that people that are saying that she is wrong to have raised this issue, they need to seriously ask themselves whether that is the right approach. Because by giving her the work that she has done, she has actually done good work. If you say somebody like Akpoti is bad for Nigerian politics, man, who is good then? Who is?
Thank you. Very nice question.
KJ, can you give me 1 minute?
No, please. I have information, please. KJ, if you allow me to give information.
Let's go to Ike, and then we'll come to you, Tony, and then Forefather will finish.
Because the information will be useful to my brother Tony.
Okay.
Listen, brother Tony, I don't know if you actually following what is going on in the Nigerian Senate. This particular man called Akpabio, do you remember the time he had this problem with Senator Nwoye from Anambra? It's the same man. This one has no respect for anybody. Every member of the National Assembly was elected like Akpabio, like any other person. They are equal as senators. What separates them now that he had a post as the Senate president? You remember the case between him and Nwoye? You remember the case between him and Mengi? This is a man that has no respect for anybody, not even the women, everybody. He feels that he is the man in charge and whatever he says goes. So let us not pretend as if we don't know who Akpabio is. It's not only applicable to Natasha. If you don't know if any of that, this the one of Senator Nwoye. And Senator Nwoye stood on his ground and put it at Akpabio himself that he is elected as a senator like he was. And he is representing his senatorial zone, not Akpabio's people. So everybody deserves respect.
Okay. Thank you.
I heard you.
Tony, I also want
I haven't spoken.
Okay, I'm coming to you, Okija.
I heard you, brother. If the Senate president is not behaving properly, the Senate has rules to deal with him. I'm not going to whether the man is nice or not nice. I'm saying that Senator Akpoti failed to follow strictly the rules of the Senate. And by so doing, she offended not just Akpabio, because we are personalizing this thing. This is about the Senate. That's one. Now, all the things about what she has done, I'm not even going to that because that's not the issue before us. Which she's done well, she's done this, she's done. That's not, for me, that's not everything she has said. They're just afterthoughts to whip up sentiment. The point is that you were given instruction, you refused to do it. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that is wrong. And then to bring out sexual things and all that, which may have happened, and I'm not doubting that. And that Akpabio may be someone of a morally lax character and so on. I'm not going into that because those are issues for the court to decide. I'm saying that based on what we saw that happened, I mean, this is the Nigerian Senate. There should be laws and order. And I feel that there's nothing stopping her from going to her seat. Because going to her seat and make her point.
Tony, we'll have many more topics to deal with, and so I'm only going to allow just minimal. Mr. Okija, can we hear you very briefly before we move on?
I don't know how I'm gonna be brief. Why you've been talking since? Anyway, I think was it some days ago in the U.S. House of Assembly, U.S. Senate Representative Frost from Florida, he was making a statement. And he said something about, he said, he called President Elon Musk and said, what do you call it? Trump, he used another name for Trump, something in chief, somebody that takes from people. I forgot the word he used. So someone struck it down, said that he should withdraw the statement. So he rephrased it again, called President Trump and added that something in chief again. They struck it down again. So they gave him chance to change it. He didn't change it. So they removed him from the committee. For that meeting. So they say Nigeria is a lawless place where lawlessness. It's people don't. As long as we are fighting. There's something we are fighting. We are fighting this gender war, making it making people giving excuses for bad behavior. This is, like Natasha, I like Natasha, I like her, she's a fighter. But on that issue, she was wrong. Other senators, they've said it. Other senators tried to, go to their seat and fight from there. She didn't want to go to her seat. Now everybody, people are just, making that, the issue now that she was supposed to talk. There's order 9 also, and or order 10, the order 6. The other one that you have to speak from your seat. Okay, then you can raise any order. Any emergency. She wasn't sitting there and she was making noise and people were telling her go to her seat. She didn't want to listen to them. Even like she didn't observe decorum. She didn't observe decorum. Listen to her colleague. That one apart. That one aside. Anyway, the one that happened because there's some, I don't know where we're arriving at. Okay. You imagine Senator Akpabio, in that bedroom, whatever. Senator Akpabio was Natasha's husband, holding a fine lady like Natasha, and Natasha was walking behind. What would Natasha do? Would she hold on? Because we're making this issue light. Okay, what would Natasha do? And then your husband, this man said this thing to you. Listen. Nigeria is like a dog place. Women, I understand that women, they have it difficult. They have it difficult in all over in public and private, private places in Nigeria. Okay, and then so this man trusts you that I mean, we have to observe, we have to acknowledge, Natasha, she's a Nigerian standard, she's beautiful woman. Her husband, trust you to be in the public eye, get into politics. Okay, you are supposed to for instance, to reward him, you have to also be able to trust him, tell him what's going on. And then the Senate president, number 3rd man in Nigeria, one of the most powerful people in Nigeria, okay, takes you and says this thing to you, and you turn back. That husband, he was watching you. This man leading you. He didn't say
KJ, quick one, please. A quick one.
He didn't get jealous. Then this man says something to you. You were not even open enough to tell him, look at this, what this man said. But okay, let's handle it this way.
Okay.
I mean,
all right. Okay. We need to move. All right. Mr. President, I'm only going to give you 1 minute because we need to move away from here.
Not only okay. Just a quick one. A quick one is this. Okija, you continue to judge this lady. Could you just wait? Let the investigation go on. We don't even know if the husband heard it. And I beg you for the husband to ask her what Akpabio said to her. Probably he heard it, he heard what happened.
Did you hear what she said? Did you hear what she said?
Yeah, I watched the interview. She said
what did she say?
She said the husband was on the phone, but when they turned back, the husband dropped, kind of like, brought down the phone, looking at them as if he heard.
Okay.
As if he heard something.
What did she say?
Okay.
What is this
now, wait now, Okija. He did not ask her anything there. It was when they went, at night, when they got home, that the husband was asking her. Remember.
And what did she say?
Okija, can I talk? Please stop interrupting me. Okay, they just gave me a minute and you're already taking the 1 minute. What did she say? What did she say?
Because you
okay?
entered into my
Remember, Okija, can I talk? Please. Hey! Remember that the next day they have an occasion. Okay? In her mind, based on what I do for a living as a psychologist, in her mind, she does not want to ruin the next day. Because probably if she tells the husband might act out. Can we just sometimes can we just let things be first? Let's hear from the husband.
Okay.
Probably he heard her. And then Tony, one more second. Tony, please. She said the first person that came to her, one of the persons that came to her when she came in was Moro. And Moro said that they were getting ready to say that they were about to set her up. So you see that they were even setting her up already. And then for her to request for the Rule 10 was to correct, to kind of like correct that, whatever it is, the impression. But they wouldn't hear.
She lied to her husband.
Controversy involving socialite Sophia
Tony,
Egbuage and
Tony, she won't marry you. She won't marry you.
Reports circulating online suggest that Sophia Egbuage and Emma Reginald are allegedly at odds over Burna Boy after a leaked audio recording of their conversation surfaced. In the viral clip, Sophia voiced her frustration with Emma, accusing her of betrayal over the singer's refusal to fulfill his promise of buying her a Lamborghini. She claimed that Emma initially encouraged her to pursue a relationship with Burna Boy, only for Emma to later be seen hanging out with the singer and his rumored new girlfriend, Chloe Bailey. Sophia revealed that she decided to give Burna Boy a chance after he promised her lavish gifts, including a Lamborghini truck worth 500 million naira. She alleged that after their sexual encounter, Burna Boy assured her he would cover the cost of the luxury vehicle. However, when it came time to make the payment, he reportedly made excuses, leaving her to acquire a Lamborghini truck with her own money. Feeling deceived, Sophia said she blocked Burna Boy after realizing he wouldn't fulfill his promises. She also expressed disappointment in Emma and her boyfriend, Manny, who is Burna Boy's personal assistant, for not stepping in to mediate the situation. The leaked audio also captured Sophia recalling how Emma had previously encouraged her to take Burna Boy seriously, citing his past generosity to ex-girlfriend Stefflon Don. Let's listen to the voice note, but before then don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to INN TV.
So the next time we hung out, I went home with him and all of that. We're already talking after, obviously, Burna and I were talking, talking. Emma had sent him my number. One of the days she was trying to.
No, do.
Mo sha so fun. If you not getting me, forget about it. I know by Lambu. Is that why I shout it? Them day. I know by Lambu. Is that why I shout it? Them day. I know by Lambu. Is that why I shout it? Them day. Yeah, them day. I know they see them. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think that I would discuss this kind of issue, but but this is what is raging in Nigeria right now, and I will start with forefathers, because you know these things. These are your friends. So
Seriously.
please tell us, how did you people get to this point? You and Burna Boy.
You know what? Why this is I don't know why should I be talking about this? This is unbelievable. This is what I have to be discussing now. Whether they buy Lamborghini for this one. You know what? I really appreciate the opportunity to speak, but I'll pass on this because it's of no concern of mine. I pass on this,
I
man.
want to pass on this.
I pass on it.
I want to ask you a question.
If there's something of gravity that comes out of it, maybe I might comment later. But from the surface, it doesn't seem like I should be concerned.
What will you advise to Sophia now that she's not able to collect a Lamborghini after going through the contract? Remember, there's a law in Nigeria that says that when you agree on something and didn't meet it up, after the agreement has been consummated, you have to pay what you agreed on. So, what would be your take on this? Knowing that Burna Boy consummated.
I know enough to know that relationships are complex. And I know enough to know that you don't necessarily get in the middle of people that are having their rigmarole. They are not breaking the law. They are grown-ups. They do whatever they like. And this is why I'm not criticizing Akpoti, because people are saying, because somebody held her hand and he didn't tell her husband. Because maybe she felt that if she told her husband the truth, the marriage is going to break, or the husband relationship with Akpabio is going to be affected. People have different type of relationships, and you have to respect the boundaries. And personally, this one is one. Let me leave it for Gen Zs. Let them have some party. You guys can have if you want to talk about this. This is not my field. Thank you very much.
Mr. Prince, Mazi Prince. Is this how you do it in California?
Thank God, forefathers, I'm older than you, so you're not gonna call me Gen Z, okay? And then, KJ, why is it that you asking me if that's how they do it in California? Are you serious? Are you really serious? Is that how they do it what is it in her this thing? Is it a gold that when you dig it, you get gold? I don't know. I don't understand why she wants someone to buy her Lamborghini for one night stand. Hey, I'm not encouraging it, but at the end of the day, it's a lose-lose for her. That thing that she was thinking that she was gonna use to buy a Lamborghini, yeah, it has been used. It has been used. Anyways, I'm not a fan of Burna Boy, so it's their thing.
The way she looks like one of those princesses from Egypt. You think it's gonna not be money to take do that one?
But she's what do you call it? They say she's a Lagos big girl, so that means different men have taken their turn. So sorry, I don't know. Whoever that buys a Lamborghini for that kind of a thing, that person must be an armed robber or a politician. That's all I can say.
All right. Let's get closer to home. This is Femi. Femi is a much younger individual. They still listen to Burna Boy. Femi, which of the Burna Boys collection do you have?
I guess right from the very first one that launched
him. Someone like me, I don't even have anyone, so I don't know. So you are in a better position to discuss these things. Tell us, is this the way artists roll these days? Because when we used to act those days, we didn't engage in such frivolities. Is that what happens now?
KJ, maybe what you forgot to tell us was that actually artists roll like that. It's just that maybe because there was no social media. Because I'll give you examples of even like some of the Yoruba artists, some of whom you might know, Sonia Day and Co. that have uncountable. I mean, because it's difficult for you to be in the spotlight, first of all. Whether as you would even know that. I'm sure even as a journalist, you've encountered some kind of things.
Yeah,
Maybe
but you balance out your act. You understand?
yeah, but KJ,
A
you know,
superstar like Burna Boy, and I'm saying
KJ,
that because you guys are the same age bracket. A
KJ,
superstar like Burna Boy,
KJ,
is that
KJ,
all he
KJ,
can? Is that all he can phantom?
KJ, you do understand. Again, you're in the media space. You're exposed. You've been exposed to all kind of things. There's no way you would tell me, except you want to pretend you're a man. There's no way you would tell me. You can't convince me that people have not thrown themselves at you. Yes, you might be more disciplined, or
Yes, you see,
and yeah,
you are very correct. For every artist, and I
right.
acted very well. I mean, I was right there for many years. Okay, but you decide for yourself, for your own integrity, what you want to do. But in this case now, let me not talk about integrity because this particular individual, based on his videos now, is not somebody who cares about whatever happens. But what would be your advice for Sophia, who has traded and has lost?
So apparently, I didn't know about her until maybe late last year or something. Because Nigeria is a cruise. That's the term we've been used for one. Nigeria and a cruise. The kind of things that happen in Nigeria, we don't. It's because we are abroad. We don't have time. Most of the time, it's when we are bored. We go on. That's even if you have a TikTok or whatever. Nigeria, in fact, sometimes I tend to agree with Mazi. Is okay when he mentioned something in the previous session that those of us abroad are the ones that are worrying us. It's not like things are not happening, but trust me, people are enjoying. They're really catching cruise there. Now, Sophia, apparently, there's news that she's from a rich, wealthy family. I don't know how far that's true, but one thing I know is a lot of women, ladies nowadays. Yes, one can make all kind of excuses. Some might even be valid. The suffering is too much or whatever. But I personally know of females, and I'm not. This is not even trying to recuse men as well, because even Nigerian men, especially, we're guilty of thinking we can buy love, and that's why if you notice a lot of Black Americans, African women, when you ask them, they'll tell you they love Nigerian women and they love Nigerian men. We're the most loved men in Africa, especially because we spend. Now, there's this mentality. In fact, my uncle is about 60 something years old now. There's this mentality, which you or yourself may have observed amongst Nigerians, especially. This love of money and material thing, it's a big problem. A very big problem. It's even bigger than what if you ask anybody that's within the age range of like the teenagers now, if they really want to be honest with you, if they tell you the kind of things you may not know that's going on, it's beyond, like, you can't even fathom it. Now, this girl, it's not like she's even suffering like that too. Yes, granted, there's a lot of questionable things about a source of wealth. Again, despite the fact that there's news making the rounds that her family is also rich and all that. Now, it's interesting that after Burna Boy did not buy the Lamborghini that because of she thought if you donate her Pekus, he was going to buy it for her. It's not like Burna Boy cannot buy this thing. After all, he has about 2 Lamborghinis and 4 Bentleys or so. Or I don't know if it's the other way around. Now, a couple of days later, she goes ahead and buys the same Lamborghini. Now, on one hand, the Men's Association were like, oh, they're proud of Burna Boy. But then some other allegations are like, okay, if Burna Boy didn't buy it for her, then who may have bought it for her? If you see the kind of lifestyle she has, she lives as well. Do not be surprised. And lastly, maybe just to add, again, we've lost our morality. Our culture, which should have been something that should rein us in, we're losing that as well. Because I'll quote what my uncle, who was a former Air Vice Marshal before he retired. He told me something very important. He said, please make sure, despite the fact that you're abroad, that he always sings it to people that he knows that are abroad. Make sure that you impute as much of the culture that we have in the kids. Because if there's one thing Western civilization is causing, and we don't seem to be paying attention to, that's part of what it's encouraging. These materialistic tendencies versus morals. There's really no morals anymore. That's what you see playing out.
Okay, thank you so much, Femi. Tony, this Lamborghini, have you seen one before? And is it something that even what you can drive in Nigerian road? The Lamborghini.
KJ, you know this your Lamborghini matter and this one that you brought. If you permit me, I don't even want to comment on it. Can you permit me to just yield my
Okay, no
for
problem.
someone else to speak?
Okija, do you want to take a comment or move on? Okija is Okija. All right, Okija can't hear us right now. Can you hear us?
Hey, KJ, by the way, do not be surprised. You're gonna just get ready for a new album or each single from Burna Boy in honor of this. Just do not be surprised.
Okay.
It's not what sells, yeah.
All right, Okija.
We're on this Burna Boy issue.
Yes.
I pass.
Okay, I guess that we some people sometimes say we don't take some of this social news, and now we've taken the social news. Guys on the comment section, you can see how it's going. The people are not interested in discussing things like this, but yeah, here is Kene is here. Kene will tell us how it be. Kene, how it be, please.
Hey, I'm fine, sir. Good evening.
I'm sure that you're even friends with Burna Boy. So tell us
No,
what went
God
down.
forbid. But Burna Boy is a small boy now. They're all Gen Zs. I was expecting to see AY, but he didn't show. I said, okay, let me come and help those that they want to talk, But the thing is, should I have my little scent over Akpabio and
yes,
his former girlfriend, I'm judging her based on her statement on national TV. He said to her, now that you are a senator, I will have to find a way to make a space for us to be spending time in my house. Do you like my house? Now, it means that based on my own sense of judgment now, they've known each other way before she became a senator. And who knows, he was instrumental for her becoming the senator. So if you ask me to now apply my street common sense now, and based on the fact that I know how they live their life over there in ABJ, I would say that she used to be his side chick. And she used him and his likes to emerge as a senator. And now maybe she's married, or maybe she has changed her lifestyle, and she now began to deny him the cookies. And the man is not happy. And he will now find a way to attack her. You see?
You're a bad man. You're a bad man.
Yeah, but my advice to him will be, she was nice to you before. She used you to get to where she's going. Please, can you allow her to enjoy her marriage? Why do you want to keep asking for what she can only give to her husband now? It's not fair now. It's not good. And you remember there was a woman that gave him dirty slap last time on national TV, right? And I think he was also pestering the woman, and she had to give him dirty slap. So, and on our own side now, somebody was hitting on you right before your husband, and you refuse to tell your husband what is going on. You are a very bad wife, man. So you are keeping such secret away from your husband, and knowing that this guy is your husband's friend. So if you find a way of buying your husband to have you, you would. So you have to, if you really love your husband, you should be able to expose such activities. If you are innocent, just the way you are claiming now, so that you will be able to protect your husband. But you didn't do that because you're looking for another another way, to get what you want. And the guy man said, no, you have to submit the vehicles or I will deny you the privilege. And now you are vexing. You want Nigerians to come and join you in the fight to believe that is a war against women. Are you the only woman in that Senate house? There are other women. So why are they not facing the same thing from the guy man? I call him Bunsuru. In Hausa, we call him he-goat. So you know that this guy doesn't, he's a kid. He doesn't know the boundary. He's everywhere. And that was why he has the guts to call the wife of the late Odumogu Ejukwu, my Bianca. Look at his dirty mouth, calling Bianca my Bianca. That's him, this guy.
You see,
see?
I want to draw attention to what the wife said. The wife said
Yes.
that one of the issues that she has had with him that he over jokes. That's a very jovial kind.
I know Akpabio. Nobody will tell me Akpabio.
That sometimes he uses words, he jokes with everything, but not because
she's doing the right thing. She's a good woman. She's protecting her husband. But Akpabio is the real definition of he-goat. The guy know no boundary, man. He's the real definition of he-goat. But she's doing the right thing, protecting her husband. But
okay.
you see the issue of Burna Boy and this little girl. You see, that is why you now begin to imagine, how do they acquire their wealth? A young girl, you have no job, very jobless. You can't even spell your name correctly, and you have missions, and you have expensive cars, and you come out and tell it's God, though, small girl, big God. And some people will be clapping for you. Girl, go girl, you did well. Yeah, yo, power, women power, yeah, women power. We know the women power. It's not about the cookies. Now, the guy man had to play, and nobody altered anything. That place has been altered already. Burna Boy shouldn't be happy going there because he's not the first person. That place always have traffic, high traffic, and that was why. I didn't even know. For me, was just saying it that she acquired the Lambo. How did she get the Lambo?
Yeah, she bought the Lamborghini very next day.
What is that job? She has no job. So how did she get the money? It's another one mugu, one gullible.
JJ, you have to stop it. Kene is spoiling us here. Spoiling. It's corruption.
Go ahead because we need to hear how.
They use
people who go to give testimonies of how God bless them. Is it the kind of blessing that is coming?
Thank you. So you use your God-given vehicles to acquire wealth, acquire properties, and on Sunday you will be in the church and give thanks to God that God has blessed you. And indeed, God has blessed you. God.
Okay, I'm asking this question so we can round up and move on. What is the craze about Lamborghini in Nigeria?
Grace.
What's the craze? Why are people crazy over Lamborghini?
Yeah, the same way they go crazy about pizza. I don't even know how to pronounce it because my children, they always correct me on how to pronounce pizza. The P-I-Z-Z-A, pizza. That is why Nigerians will order pizza all the way from UK to be delivered in Nigeria. Crazy people. A country that has no road for such a car, but they will buy it just to fly from maybe their house to the national stadium, and that is it. Because the car cannot go beyond that. It cannot go to all those Tuke or Iketu, those places you have bad roads. The car can't go there, can't go to Ajebule, can't even go to part of Ikeja self, but they will still buy it just to show off, just to show that they have money, which is good. It's good when you have good money, you enjoy your money. But on a good road.
I said that because I don't know, you guys, live outside and you see that even those who sell these cars don't drive them. Even here, they drive a smaller. In fact, one day I had to ask a guy who sells brands of Mercedes and all that kinds, but he doesn't drive any of those. He drives a Camry, and I asked him, but these cars are at your disposal. Why He said, no, man, I can't put my money on that. You want me to work in for gas? So what is the reason why Nigerians go for these big brands and spend millions of dollars or naira tied down on those vehicles that can just carry them from just a small portion to that? It can't even take them outside of Lagos because you don't have any road that will lead you there.
Most of these musicians in Nigeria, They acquire money that they don't pay tax on. They have surplus money that they can just, spread everywhere, acquire cars that they don't actually need. So the reason basically is to show off. The reason is to show that they have money. When in actual sense, if you really want to put their riches, together, they are not that rich. They're just showing off. But the thing is, the more beautiful car you have, the more expensive cars you have, the more women are at your disposal. And that is why you see somebody that don't even have a house would rather go buy a car so that you impress women, so that you will carry women, especially when you see them under the sun waiting for kabu kabu, so they can easily hump into your car, and that is it, to hotel. You don't even have a house. So it's just to show off, to impress women, to carry the likes of that girl now that want to sell her this thing for Lambo. And it's not something you can get for 1,000 naira. And then you now putting it to a Lambo. What is there? Your own has depreciated, because I don't know. But that is it, just to show off, Oga KJ.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's as we begin to round up the politics of River State. Let's move away from Burna Boy. The politics of River State have taken a very dangerous dimension. I don't know if any of you followed the ruling of the Supreme Court over the weekend, which leaves everybody bewildered. And we don't know where we're going from here. It seems not to be interpreting the Nigerian constitution in the proper way. But I want to not put my own idea out there. What do you people see from the ruling of the Supreme Court concerning the 27 lawmakers in River State? Femi, are you familiar with that?
Can you pass me for now? Hello? KJ.
Yeah. Okay. Kenneth, do you want to make your own contribution on that?
KJ, pass me for now. Sorry.
Kenneth, you are muted.
Sorry. So when it comes to River State, I've not really followed up with the news, though I saw the news, but I didn't really look into it. But because I already know what will be the outcome, Wike is in Abuja, is working for Tinubu. The judges there are all been appointed by APC. So do you really want to get justice from the likes of Mary Odili? Mary Odili, she's a confused woman. So those judges that were appointed by the APC, do you really want to get real justice? Is there ever justice in Nigeria? Where a non-governmental, what they call them, somebody that is not in the government, the former governor, is now detecting what is happening in the state where they have a illegitimate governor, because even the Fubara, wasn't the one that won the election in Rivers State anyway. But you see, two evil people are fighting now. Me, Kenechukwu, I don't really have anything to say. Let them find more strength to, injure themselves very well. So whatever that is going on in River State right now, whatever the outcome is, so be it, because he supported for the election, the Fubara supported this guy, Wike, to rig the election in River State. And now Wike is dealing with him.
Okay.
So whatever that comes to Fubara,
Now,
that is
for more on the Supreme Court's judgments, I have the State Commissioner for Information, Mr. Joe Johnson, standing by. He joins me from River State. Mr. Joe Johnson, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. Now, Mr. Joe Johnson, if you're still there, first of all, all right, you're welcome, sir. First of all, sir, what is the general attitude of the state government towards the recent judgment, if you would please tell us? Mr. Joe Johnson, I'm hoping you can hear us, Mr. Joe Johnson. Unfortunately, it would seem that we're having connection problems with Mr. Joe Johnson. Hopefully, we'll be able to connect with him. So we move on now to joining me now would be our News Central correspondent, Biola Festus, who has been on the streets of Port Harcourt. Hello, Biola. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us for the news. So far, great. So far, please, if you tell us what the observations have been so far.
There's been a sort of political fiesta in Rivers State since the Supreme Court's ruling yesterday. We were on the street to get the pulse of the people. And what they are saying is they are very much particular about the funds that has been withheld from Rivers State. They are not very much concerned about the local government issue or the House of Assembly members being seated or being reinstated or being unseated. What they are very much concerned about is that this political instability in the state.
Hello, Biola, are you there?
Will hamper development. Yes, I'm here.
Keep going then, thank you.
You would recall that this is the second time in 4 months that the Supreme Court is ordering that allocations according to Rivers State will be withheld. After the 2024 local government election, which held in October, on the 5th of October, the Supreme Court had also ordered that the CBN withholds allocations from Rivers State. So from then till now, it's about 4 months. So the people are in a sort of confusion. They don't even know what to expect next. The business community are very much worried about this because, as we all know, governance or government policies have a major role to play in economy of a place. But what is happening in Rivers State is of major concern to especially the business community.
Okay, so Biola, you talked about hitting the streets and testing the pulse of the people. Obviously, they would not be concerned regarding the legislation or all of that. To them, it's how it affects them. So how exactly with this withholding of the allocations, how is it affecting the people of Rivers State, tangibly?
Okay, their cries are majorly linked to the fact that civil servants will be greatly affected. And we have majority of civil servants in Rivers State. And these people have connection to every other economy of the state. If there's no cash flow from the government, it will definitely affect even the common man. We even went to the motor pass, and they're like, oh, if we do not have the civil servants taken care of, that means our business right here will collapse because majority of the people that patronize them are civil servants, much of whom do not have their private vehicles. We also went to those that sell groceries, just the common people, and they are very much scared for the economy of the state. In fact, the streets of Rivers State, every corner of it, you could hear discourse on this matter.
Well, Biola, I want to say thank you very much for joining us and giving us your observation there in Rivers State. Thank you indeed.
Yeah, so
thank you.
That's what's going on right now. That is the situation we find ourselves in Rivers State. Gentlemen, what's your take? I was trying to get the ruling, the input of Oguchinyere. Oguchinyere has come out also to make a very serious commentary on what was going on or what is going on right now in Rivers State. And, you know, he sees it in a different light. And if you don't mind, let's listen to Oguchinyere, who made a very vital point also.
Of governance will continue to run in Rivers State, and Governor Fubara, the executive governor of Rivers State, will continue to drive that will of governance in Rivers State. These cases originated even before these people cross-carpeted on where the budget should be presented, which led them to the issue of getting a judgment that said allocation of the state should be freezed in enforcement of that particular judgment. This issue and development today has not decided the ongoing and pending matter on the legitimacy or legality of that illegal decampment by those SAC pro-Wike lawmakers, which is currently, as I speak now, ongoing at the Court of Appeal. Because there's one issue that have not been resolved. That these people left the People's Democratic Party to the Action or Progressive Congress, APC, with the belief that they will get support to illegally impede the government. But when that did not work, they kept on running from one court to another. So all they are trying to do is to find the legitimacy to claim that they are lawmakers. That's why they keep running from one place to another. So that is why that matter have not been decided. It was not even decided by the Supreme Court. That matter is the Court of Appeal. So, yes, Supreme Court has delivered a judgment today. We'll study it and understand how they arrive at those conclusions and what were the declaration. But one thing I want to say is that the opposition coalition is categorically saying and clearly saying that will of governance will continue to run. Because their intention is to block governance, to create anarchy, to create commotion and confusion in Rivers State. But governance will continue to run and will continue to fight and battle over this matter until the Supreme Court decides on the legitimacy of that cross-carpeting from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress, APC. When that is decided, then we'll now know the next line of action. There is nothing these pro-Wike people can do that will dampen the morale of Governor Fubara, that will dampen the morale of the opposition coalition. There is nothing. We are fighting for constitutionalism. We are fighting in defense of democracy. You think you go and starve people of River States their statutory allocation, which is a federation share that is constitutional, so that there will be crisis, hospitals will have no drugs, people will be dying on the street. That will not happen. That will not happen. Governor Fubara is a political tactician and a Democrat to the core, and I can tell you that the wheel of governance will continue to run. We will surprise them. Things will continue to run effectively and efficiently. And that issue, that our belief and our conviction that there are no lawmakers, that there are no longer lawmakers, succeed and will continue to run until such a time that appeal court case that is ongoing now decides whether they did the right thing by cross-carpeting or not. Because it was that issue, that legitimacy battle, that led to the issue of what is left of that House of Assembly presiding. It was a fate that they foisted on us by not allowing the by-election to hold. And that is why we're still at the appeal court. And until such a time we finish in the appeal court and go to the Supreme Court, that is when this matter, one can say that this matter has been conclusively laid to rest. These are not the issues that we have decided today. They can go to the public and say whatever they like, but all I can tell them is that the wheel of governance will continue to run.
Okay. The wheel of governance will continue to run in River State. We are left to see how it's going to run. Now, there's an Igbo adage, I don't want to say it here, but when the drum beat changes, those who have a good step must change to it. So the drum beat has changed now. We want to see how Fubara will change with it. Let me start with you, Tony. You have heard what Gochina have said. Now, the question is, what is the political mileage that Wike is trying to gain by stopping allocation to the local governments? Because the local government have people working, and each worker in Nigeria we know have more than 10 dependents. Now, if you stop their wages, what are you trying to create in River State?
Thank you. If you permit me, let me just do a brief what I'm looking for the right word. The Ugo Chinyere, I think, was right in saying that the case regarding the defection of the 27 lawmakers has not been delivered, by the Supreme Court, and that's a fact. The court case that was just delivered had to do with two things. One, the local government election, where the court ruled that it was not carried out in line with the River State and INEC regulations. So on the basis of that, the election was nullified. Now, since that election was nullified, it then means that those who were supposedly elected cannot be representatives cannot be local government councillors and so on and so forth, as the case may be. So in that case, they are not entitled to any remuneration or to act as such. And then the other one has to do with the court ruling was based on the fact that it is not the governor or his assigns that would decide whether people have defected. It's not self-enforcing. It is the court that will determine. So for as long as the court has not determined, then they are still members of the House of Assembly. That's the implication of the ruling. So
no,
until
but that's not the constitution.
No. The court has to rule. It's not self-enforcing.
No,
that they defected.
It's not the first time. There was an amendment to the Nigerian constitution. I can say that much because I followed. There was an amendment.
Now, this is not my opinion. This is the legal opinion. So the basis of that judgment is that the case is before the court. The court will rule on that. So for as long as the court has not ruled, it's still in the realm of speculation. So those people, for excluding those people, the governor has no right to exclude them from participating in the House of Assembly, in the deliberations. Okay, so every other thing that was done.
Sorry, Mr. Tony.
Yes.
It's not the first time people have defected from one party to the other.
No, I'm telling you, no.
As a matter of fact, I'm coming. Before this case came to limelight, there were other set of House of Assembly people who defected and lost all their seats. They didn't go to court because in the first place, since you have written that you have defected, since you went to the district, you submitted written notices to your party, your former party, and you did a welcome party before the media, which will all have the video. Are you saying those things are not because in the first place, INEC should have issued and gone to organize fresh election. This is where the problem is coming from. INEC refused to follow through what was supposed to be done.
They are not card-carrying members of APC. They are not in the register of APC as members. Does that solve the problem for you?
But they wrote and said they are no longer members.
Yeah. So let the court decide. That's what they're saying. The court is saying, this is not my judgment. This is not my opinion. The case is in court. The court will rule until the court rules. But in the meantime, the court says they should go back and do their duty. And in the event that the governor fails to do that, then the remuneration to all the money that is due to the local government should not go to them, and so on and so forth. So that's the way I understand it. I'm listening to some of these legal minds, but that's not the question you asked me. Now, so for me, it's like a Pyrrhic victory, because if we have a court that worked well, that gives justice, then we should fix our minds to receiving whatever the kind of thing we are saying. Maybe that will now come into place if evidence is produced. But having said that, I think the problem with Rivers State, I said this somewhere in another platform. You see, all these things that they're doing, the only thing that can settle this thing is for Wike and his son to just sit down, and the elders, and they sort this thing out, because the people of Rivers State are the ones suffering. You see, some of the consequences, people don't know that when you try to cut corners, when injustice is done, when you steal people's election, you don't know that you will pay for the consequences. What is happening now is Rivers State paying for the consequences of Wike and the Sim, paying for the consequences of what they did during the election. And unfortunately, the Rivers State people are suffering.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to ask you a question, but I'll move to Ken. I'll come back to you.
No, ask me the question.
Okay, now
I didn't answer your question, but I think the thing is that for now it looks like Wike is winning.
No. Will you say that what the court is saying or ruling is the right thing? Because this is how Governor Hope Uzodinjo became governor of Imo State. This kind of thing, we have never seen it happen in any other, like Kano. They tried this in Kano, but they withdrew. My question now to you is, you say it's the river people that are suffering, but have you seen the river people in the street saying that we can't take this no more? So are we now crying more than they believe because they are just sitting and lying low and waiting for whoever wins? When will the people of Rivers State say we have had enough of this wicked nonsense?
Well, for me, it's Wike and Fubara nonsense, because someone has to lock two of them in the room and get them to settle this thing. Because you cannot eat your cake and have it now. When you go eat with the devil, You can't. There's no way now. They have an agreement. They agree, whether rightly or wrongly. You people agree to steal somebody's election. You stole the election and did all that. Now you are paying for it. So I don't have sympathies for two of them. I don't. I have sympathies for River State people. Who voted, who did what they're supposed to do, and then these people went and I don't have sympathies for if they let them kill themselves. I just pity River State people, because this thing would not have happened if the elections in River State, from president to whatever, went the way it's supposed to go. But that's what we are supposed to learn. When we were refusing to learn, we are refusing to learn this thing that you committed. You can't have he who wants equity must come with clean hands. So this ruffle fight that they're doing is the consequence of doing the wrong thing.
Okay, thank you so much. Kenneth, why don't we see this kind of action in other parts of the country, like the northern part or the south or the western part? Why is it that it's always the fight is always in the southeast, either in Rivers, either the Rivers man is fighting the governor of Rivers, or the Igbo man is fighting the governor, or the guy in Ebonyi is fighting the Senate the Secretary of State, our Senate President, yes, during this other guy's time, Pius. David Omai was fighting him and even saying you cannot dare to come to these states. Why do we always see this nonsense playing on in Igbo land or even the south part of this country?
Yeah, thank you. I think I will agree with Mr. Tony 100%. I have no pity for any of them. But when it comes to politics in the South they don't have any unity of purpose, like the northern part, where when it concerns their people, they will come together and do everything possible to protect the interests of their people, and both locally and nationally. When it comes to national stuff, you see them coming together to fight the other region, and when it comes to the internal thing, they will come together and resolve the issue. Unfortunately, in the South, everybody is smart and strong. Nobody wants to tell what to do. Everybody is smart, and unfortunately, you are dealing with somebody like Wike that has no respect for himself, no respect for his family, no respect for anybody. Wike is like what is the most stubborn animal that you see in the wild? That's what you can equate Wike with. He has no respect for anybody, and when you, like Mr. Tony stated, when you dine with the devil, you must reap, whatever that comes out of it. People say that you give devil a long spoon, but unfortunately, Sim was dining and whining with the devil, and now the devil is dealing with him to the detriment of the people, the citizens of River State. So when it comes to unity of purpose, we don't have it in the South, just as they have it in the North. South, everybody is Oga, everybody is a master. Nobody is to be ruled, or nobody is to be cautioned. Not to talk of stubborn goat like Wike. So whatever that comes out from River State's fights that they are doing currently, to me, I think is the aftermath of what they did to the people of River State during the election, and now they are reaping the results. So they should enjoy it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. I don't know what happened.
I had a call, sorry. The call obstructed the conversation.
All right, go ahead.
No, I'm done. I was saying that whatever that is coming out from the aftermath of the election is what they are enjoying now, and they should enjoy it.
Okay, let's go on to Mr. stay humble. You appeared before, but you ran away. So
yeah, so I was surprised that I was removed. I appeared and I thought it was my turn, only for me to see that other people were, coming up to speak. So I had to just get some things done before 9.
Okay,
Okay, yeah, I think there's a multitude of issues already on ground. Some we're discussing tonight, some maybe other days. I'm not sure what exactly we are talking about now, but I know that many things have transpired.
The River State Court ruling, Supreme Court ruling, that local government they withhold the money going to local government until conditions are met.
Yeah, so if you ask me, I don't think it's constitutional for the Supreme Court to withhold the money going into River State. Because when you're talking about River State, you're not just talking about the gladiators who've been fighting themselves in the person of Nyesom Wike and Fubara. You're also talking about the people of River State. You're talking about the 5-year-olds in River State. You're talking about the people needing health care in River State, people needing education in River State. So the Supreme Court, they're supposed to protect the fundamental human rights of people, first and foremost. And those people, they have rights to live, they have rights to education, they have rights to water supply, what have you. Yeah, so if you withhold the resources that should accrue to River State in terms of the monthly emoluments or the federal whatever, that would affect infrastructure development in rivers. That would affect education in rivers. That will affect almost every sphere of life in rivers. So I think it's against the fundamental human rights of the people of rivers to have their location withdrawn by the Supreme Court. Yeah, because sometimes I wonder what kind of people are in the Supreme Court. Yeah, because when you are looking at cases like this, you have to you don't have to be myopic. You have to look at it holistically, and you have to consider other factors as well. So it's not good. It's irresponsible. It's totally unreasonable to withhold the allocation of River State based on some squabble between two overfed politicians. They are the day Nigeria gets it right, really, or the day whatever happens to Nigeria, whether it's some kind of confederation or whatever, those kind of people will be, totally inconsequential. And then also, that speaks to the importance of the process. The process leading to someone getting power, because it's not just about getting power. Peter Obi himself has been harping on the process, and sometimes people seem not to understand all these things. The process is as important as getting there. Then you also have to interrogate the process through which Fubara got into power. Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, I believe we all followed all the processes, and we saw what happened. We are not talking about election. Because one ruffian may jump out from the bush and say, "Oh, which other party is strong in rivers?" We are even talking about the processes of the primaries in parties. So the processes of primaries in the parties, they are horrible. They are nothing to write home about, and they are nowhere near democratic. So when they throw up all sorts of hooligans, the people will not even, whether you vote or not, it's not a hooligan will emerge. And that's what we've seen in River State. That's not to say that these people, the occupying states, based on the elections that happened there, they're all in the same basket. But, a good number of them, they're not even showing that they can be trusted with anything administration or statecraft. So Rivers, someone mentioned that I think someone said something about Rivers people being So I can't remember, but let me say something about rivers. If you know the history of rivers, rivers was the culmination of the divide and rule tactics of the colonial masters in eastern Nigeria. Is that so? Rivers people, we are told that, see, we are gonna give you a trophy, and this trophy means that you'll be loyal to us forever. We have liberated you from these Igbo people, and so Rivers is that Rivers people will not protest. Rivers people don't have the balls. They can't do anything. They are always grateful to Gowan, always grateful to Westminster, always grateful to 10 Downing Street for liberating them in quotes from the Igbo people. So that's Rivers for you. Just forget. The only thing that will happen is you and I being strong in advocating for what belongs to Rivers to get to Rivers. Then finally, someone made a very, very wrong, misleading and horribly false assertion about politics in the southeast. In the east, he said that that you find that there is usually rancor in the southeast. The politicians don't unite. Well, politics, real politics, you mustn't have one uniting factor. You should have your different principles and ideologies. But in the Nigerian setting, it is not true that in the east there is always rancor, and elsewhere in the north, like some Igbo people will stupidly say that that Igbos that was that's not correct. We know what's happened in the history of this country. Take Adamawa for example. We saw the fight between Fintiri and Monita Lanyako. We saw the fight in Ekiti. We saw the fight in Oyo between the owner of Ibadan land, Adedibu and Ladoja. We saw these fights in everywhere. We saw the fights in Bayelsa, Alamia Sega. We saw those fights in Kogi. We saw those fights across board in Zamfara, in Bauchi, what have you. So when someone comes to this forum, someone that eats apple and gari and drinks water and open his mouth to say that all the other politicians in Nigeria unite to one purpose, apart from the politicians of Southeast extraction. I think such for boldly false claims should be discouraged. You should not say that in this
I think
time where we can always look up the information.
All right, I don't you think you are being too hard on the person? What the person simply means that this reoccurrence is a bit too much in the southeast, and we have constantly seen it. Right from the 80s. Nnamdi Azikiwe, one of the factors that held him down was the factor of Jim Nwobodo. When it was the time of Alex Ekweme, one of the factors that held him down, also divided this was also a factor from the east. But that's a different discussion for another day. Jeff, yes, go ahead. What do you see? And what is the weakest faction? What are they intending to achieve by this their so-called victory?
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. You can hear me, right? Okay, good. So basically, you don't need to be told. You see, Wike was a jolly good guy at the time when he was in PDP, trying to build roads and gain relevance. I mean, his 8 years was sort of seamless under the Buhari regime. You see, we want to go look at the historical context. And of course, the same way that Mechi was a stooge to Jonathan in the 2015 election, is equally the same way that Wike is a stooge to both Atiku and of course Obi. They're always playing the fiddle and all that. And yes, he kind of felt undermined that Fubara wasn't listening to him, just like he was always listening to him. During the time he was governor, of course, he was making decisions. You see, it's always good to like trace it back and forward. So to me, basically, I just see it as a power play at the expense of the Nigerian people. And still humble, no disrespect, I don't mean to call you out, but it's so obvious that whatever is happening today is not, it's just shows that we have not grown as a country, you know. Once we're in power, we want to show that we have what it takes, no matter the consequences, you know, stopping allocation, all of that, destroying people's lives. At least there's no form of objectivity, you see. It just shows where we are. Regarding the whole court case, is a fiasco. Because if I could remember vividly well, those guys said they are not doing again. There's a possibility they may have defected, but who knows? Maybe they didn't work out according to plan. And if it had worked out at that time, you could have heard that they have impeached Fubara, because let us go back and play the tape. They defected. They did, but they didn't make it obvious. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Because, you know, in Nigerian politics, I can decide to change the party to tomorrow and be there, and then I can also come back, especially when I know I'm not having my way. So are you not seeing that? That's just what it is. Now, it's another set of sensitization, because basically what's going to happen is that, they seem to be having the upper hand, so there's a possibility that they can kick Fubara out. But I don't really know where this is heading, because first of all, Wiki is just trying to solidify his grounds. You know, that's just what he's trying to do. He's trying to make sure that he has a good loyalist. You know, it's similar to the same way that Oshomole now, because of the fact that everything seems to be happening in their favor. His anointed son is now the governor of Edo State, so he can always tell the current governor of Edo State what he wants to do at his beck and call. So that is just what is going on here. You know, they want to replicate the Jakaban ideology in all the 36 states of Nigeria. So once somebody finishes as a governor and the person leaves, that other person will be answerable to the other person. And that's one unique thing. I'm sorry to use this platform to say, that's one unique thing I love about Obi. Ever since he left that office, he has no ties with Anambra State governor. And it's so obvious. But I can tell you, in my sleep, even right now, as we are talking, that Tinubu still has vented interest in Lagos State. And he always had it before he became governor, the president. Which is to say that no one can cough under his watch. So so the question now I need to put is, where are we going with all of that? You know, so much rascality. And of course, you are right, the people in the north have a sense of direction. No matter even if you like, bring $100 trillion and give to the northern people. If they hate you, if they don't want you to be there, if you are against their agenda, you like bribe them with gold and silver, they will fight against you to the last. It happened in 2015 election now. For the fact they heard that their anointed son was coming, they didn't want to hear again. They did everything possible to make sure they gave their support to their son. And because they had a purpose. But only in the south, it's not like that. But that's not to say we should not be objective, because we all know the story today. Everything is playing out before our very eyes. Let me stop there.
All right, thank you so much. Again, we are rounding up. Can you make your final contribution on all the topic? You have 3 minutes. We're having another show coming up very,
KJ, don't forget me.
No, I won't. I see. I won't. When he comments, I don't want to come back to him. So when you talk, you go through all your points. Yes, sir, Jefferson, can you do your rounding thoughts for today on this issue so far?
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I didn't start from the beginning, but I can say that Let me just round up based on what I've seen on the headlines. I watched the Zelensky video. You know, when Trump made that decision, right, of the deal, it seems so good to be done. Of course, the American government has always been giving money to support the war under Biden, and this is a new administration. So the people, because he has spoken to Putin, it's a done deal. Once Zelensky comes, we'll just take it hook, line, and sinker. Of course, Zelensky is man of his words. He loves his country. Irrespective of the help you are helping them, he has a say. Yes, I know that some things are not going on right because they are not winning the war. People's lives are being left, are being ruined. But you cannot, I feel, you cannot, Trump is a president, Zelensky is a president. You cannot call another president to another show and start undermining them, irrespective of how the outcome comes. I feel it's kind of disrespectful. I didn't like that scenery. Even if I'm a Trump supporter or not a Trump supporter, it has no matter anybody is supporting anybody, it's good to be objective and be diplomatic. To me, what I saw was you're trying to talk someone into accept it, do it my way, we are doing you a favor. I mean, that was just what I saw there. And the guy did not play that.
Did you listen to this? I didn't want to go back there, but let's go there. Did you listen to the explanation that the vice president gave? That is about the 10th time discussing that. And each time that you get to the point of signing, he will renege. Did you listen to that?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
So hold on. So the question hold on. The question he asked, if you knew you are not going to sign, you are not going to accept, why did you come to Washington? Why did you come to Washington? Is it a show?
No.
Is it a comedy? If you knew all the while you knew that you don't want to go along, why did you come?
No, look at it this way. Of course, he wanted to settle things out. He needed guarantees. He's a human being, just like a human being. Before you sign something, you have to think it through. Just like you are doing a contract. No matter how the thing looks promising, you will definitely look it. You have to see it through. You are not just going to take it hold back and sinker for crying out loud. Because if you listen to him too, now I'm not saying that the guy doesn't want to settle. He thought he had a guarantee of things being settled in the past, and unfortunately, that ain't happened. And you see, it's a very, very complex thing. But me personally, on the note of dehumanizing another fellow person, I personally feel it was not necessary. And to me, Trump needs to learn further. It's not everybody you talk to like that, anyways. So that's for the Trump presidency. I don't want to go into that. The issue of Natasha and Akpabio. Of course, Akpabio is 100% wrong. You cannot shout on your fellow senator and shout him down. After all, everybody, it could have been the other way around. Natasha could have been voted into as the Senate president. And of course, when he wants to pass bill, she'll be the one to either take it to secondary or decline it. It's just unfortunate that our country has not evolved where we have a Senate president as a woman, which I would love to see in the future. So, but I mean, there's the hidden agenda between both of them, and I feel on the issue of harassment and what they call it, gender inequality, and talking about the other, because in the same forum, I feel that needs to be addressed in the law courts. I hope there's justice anyway, considering the fact that we all know how our courts can be. So for El-Rufai, I don't really know what to say. It's politicians are always doing what they want to do. The only thing is that when the next election cycle comes, who knows how their mind will be then. So it's always a circle. So let me just stop here for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution. We appreciate your contributions all the time. Yes, Femi.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, KJ, so I'll start from the fact that as long as we're together, I would like to think we all agree that constitution, which I know you were not present when they were having America is we the people, right?
Yeah.
They were claiming that we wrote it together. There's a way it starts, right?
We the people.
We the people too, right? Okay. So the Nigerian constitution purports that you were there. I don't know, you probably were there when they were putting it together.
Which is the reason why we're a country of high. because
and which is where we are, because
Yeah.
obviously it was it stated that most of it was the Decree 24, whatever that was.
Yes.
That was put together in addition to one or two other eminent jurisprudence people at the time that just put it together, coupled it together. And if you notice, I've not read a lot of it. I don't claim to be a lawyer, but just listening to legal minds from different perspectives lets you know all the flaws that it comes with. Of course, because of the way it was already prepared. Now, if you look at the fact that, for example, Edo, during Obaseki's reign, recall the case where you had there was a situation where they took away the roof, and then they had to go do was even like 5 house members had to go do their sittings in an hotel or for a while. But I do not remember the allocations being withheld. And of course, if you go further back, you recall what happened between what transpired between Obasanjo and what's his name, the current president. Now, I say this to say that, in truth, when one looks at the constitutional provision regarding whether the sitting on members constitute a quorum, in truth, you would not fault the Supreme Court based on the way the section of the Constitution that they're looking at, and even INEC knows about, supports. Now, even INEC in itself has claimed several times, and I think you've alluded to this fact, that as soon as members of a party, especially when they do so en masse, defect from one party to the other, they lose their seats. But then the same INEC, and this is the part that confuses me, the same INEC would quickly tell you that they're constrained depending on what side they are playing to. So they'll tell you that they're constrained by the fact that there's need for further interpretation of the Constitution. Because yes, despite the fact that the Constitution clearly states the only situation where such defection would be considered plausible, and that one constitution is that one provision says something along the lines of there has to be such a division at the I think the federal level for that party for it to be. I don't know. See, I think it's is it called lacuna? There's a lot of things that need to be filled, because I think a lot of things don't make sense. They're just open-ended, and because of that, INEC would keep bearing to the fact that they're constrained by the fact that still needs some form of interpretation. Now we've gotten this interpretation. I would not be surprised when the same thing plays out like it's playing out in the Lagos State House of Assembly now. Now nobody is talking about constitutional or any restraint, because you see, yes, they may be different in terms of what's going on, but what's clearly playing out in Lagos State, tell me how that makes sense. How does that make sense? And there's a president in power that purports to pretend as if he doesn't know what's going on. Because on one hand, some people will tell you that, because of they're trying to play to the gallery, they'll tell you that, no, he doesn't know what's going on, he's not involved. Come on, tell me something, tell me what I do not know. Because keep in mind, during Obasanjo's time as well, if you remember very well, we had so many back and forths during RNM's time, where Ere was removed, Chupa or Kadibo came in. There was a particular incident that involved Dari, if you remember, because I'll never forget.
I need to cut you right now.
Okay.
The women's segment comes up at 6 p.m. I didn't even see that. So, Mr. Tony, if you don't mind, I'm just going to give you 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
Yeah, I think I will. That 1 minute will be enough for me. I think there's so much craziness in the country. The legislators are messing up in Lagos State, in Rivers State, at the Senate, and so I think that it's beginning to get to a point where Nigerians must rise and tell them that this is not what they expect. However they're going to do it, they have to send a strong warning. If they have to get the people out of that place, they should.
Okay, thank you so much. I like that. Mr. Stay Humble, you have just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
1 minute. Not of
just
all
1
these
minute.
things that have been
1
said.
minute. We need to go. The
So,
segment,
very
you
quickly,
can actually go over the women to the women segment and make most of your point, but we'll have to rush out. We're already 5 minutes into their time.
oh, sorry. So, yeah, very quickly, I'll just say that Natasha and Akpabio is just a distraction. We have more germane issues in this country, and we should not be distracted with those things. You know, they don't arise once in a while when there are burning issues, just to distract people. That's what I see it as. A lot of people may disagree. You know, people all over the internet saying, "Oh, support this person, support that person." You know, but I don't even give any attention to them. They're just time wasters.
Right.
Regarding Zelensky and Trump, sorry.
Thank you. We need to run. Mr. Benson. Mr. Benson.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Then if I want me to anyway, what am I going to say then?
Okay, then let's meet you.
Because there's no need, because the thing is that the country has been what it is. What is happening in River State is about power play. And it's about the federal government or that since want to destroy things about anything about the eastern state. What happened in Imo State before where they bring Usodinjo, and now the same Supreme Court is trying to destroy this place because if, for example, if Wike is not with as a minister, will Wike go this far? So why can't Tinubu remove Wike? They know what they're doing. They want to destroy everything about the South. People may compare Southeast and the North. When the North things start, the federal government use another style to make everywhere peaceful. But in the Southeast, they will not, because they know that if you rise up, they'll bring their artillery to come and kill people over there. But they don't do the same thing in the North. That's why things are happening. But the country, people need to know is this. If the citizens don't rise up, against the House, against the Supreme Court, and against this president, this useless man, the country will continue to be like that. Okay. So whatever is happening in that country is being done by the citizens. The citizens keep quiet and they're being destroyed. So that's what I can say for now.
Thank you so much. The women segment is coming up almost immediately. Topic we didn't take, you can take them over there, they will handle it. Mr. Andrew is already behind waiting for me to sign off, and so I will not be able to thank everybody, but all of those of you who have been here with us, we appreciate your being here. Dr. Damages hold you in high esteem. Every view is welcome. Once you're on this panel, please feel free to give your view. Nobody has the monopoly of knowledge. We all are learning. And so thank you so much for those who contributed. We thank you also for your contributing your talent and your treasures. God bless you all. Until we come your way tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be packed full like today. So please dust up and come. It's going to be, very, very interesting discussion. Dr. Damages will be here, and other well-meaning Nigerians also will be here with us. God bless you all, and see you very soon.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland. We love and strength and our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Hey, that's so, yeah. Oh, yeah. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey, to serve our fatherland.